Hello!
Hello.
Hello, hello! Are we ready to do some more Ace Attorney?
Yes. I hope so. Anyway.
Look at us. We're ready today.
We are.
Sort of.
No,
we're on time.
10 minutes late.
No, that's on time. It is. Yes. Okay, let's see if everything is still working. Oh, my switch has gone to sleep.
Can confirm that I am not working, so.
No.
If that helps.
No, you have to take head pills.
I did. My head hurts. Again.
Yeah. That doesn't help that the weather continuously changes at the moment.
Oh no. The weather.
Yeah, well, it's just a special, like, cobalt sagey thing, clearly. And I don't know what I'm trying to say again. I like how they just recycled the music of the previous game. We were like, no!
That's fine.
I mean, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Are you ready to jump straight in?
Yeah.
Okay, then. I can't remember. How did I even make this man's voice yesterday? So difficult. Do you? No, I mean, I guess not. Like, sometimes you can make a voice and then the next day you're like,
I know, I was like, I don't remember.
How did I manipulate my vocal cords to make this sound? Let's try. Witnesses. That's close enough. Please state your names and occupations for the court.
Is he wearing a turtle?
Turtle, looks like it.
He literally got a turtle. What is going on?
I feel like there is some subtlety here that I'm missing culturally, you know?
Wait, clearly it's because he was at the beach resort, right?
Yeah, obviously that's it. That's why he's also wearing a bathing suit.
Yeah. I mean, he likes to go undercover. Last time...
he was in a sailor suit last time we
Yeah,
saw
and before that he was a waiter.
Of course.
So I think he was undercover.
Yeah, he's got a towel on his arm too.
Yeah.
Looks like so. Chief Inspector Satoru Hosanaka, Imperial Police Bureau. I'm in disguise, obviously, so I can go undetected.
He even says so.
He does. And I am, well, the next big thing in books. An author renowned throughout the capital, in fact. Yes. Soon to be sold out, the satirical I Am a Cat, a sensational success by Suzeki Natsume.
Oh wow, okay, he's had a change of attitude. So
good for him.
Look at this guy. He got like ink stains on his hand, I'm gonna assume.
I think. Or this is gonna be something relevant later, because that's very blue for an ink stain.
Yeah. And he's also using a pencil.
Writing with a pencil, yeah.
Yeah, with a fountain pen. Like, I used to have fountain pens that stained in such an aggressive blue.
Did you?
Yes,
such
I
a
did.
bright blue?
Yeah. Yeah, I did. That was horrid.
Neon
absolutely
pens.
horrid.
Oh my goodness. Struggling student from the provinces, please. You needn't to be in awe of me. I needn't? Why, it's only natural that you'd feel nervous in my presence, but all of you, please, relax. Call me Soseki even. Yes. What on earth is Soseki-san doing here?
Dress carefully, Susato. That author fellow knows you from your time in London, doesn't he? I don't think he would actually recognise us, if I'm perfectly honest. Too much trauma. If he exposes you for who you really are, this will be over before it's begun.
Yes, of course, I know. I presume Soseki-san won't have forgotten about me. I could certainly never forget him. Although he does seem to have changed somewhat in the 6 months or so that it's been since I last saw him. And as for Inspector Hosonaga, that amazing outfit is hard to believe. Do I have something on my face? Well, your glasses for one, although they don't seem to be helping you see. Thank goodness he hasn't recognized me either. Ah, I suppose it's this disguise, is it? I thought that appearing here in the clothes I was wearing at the time would make for a more faithful testimony. It is my guiding principle to carry out all testimonies flawlessly.
Well, I can appreciate why an Imperial Police Bureau detective might have been present. But what business did a writer such as yourself have been at the scene, Suseki-san? I've just been like relaxing.
Well, you see, I had been asked that day to give a lecture.
Oh.
On the morning of the incident in the Imperial Yume University's Grand Lecture Hall, no less.
Well.
Yume University?
Every single time my brain goes like,
Alright.
sees the angle, Moilai.
Yep. After the lecture, I had a very pleasant conversation with a researcher from the medical science department. The professor over there, in fact.
I just realized that he is still basically wearing his suit, but in traditional garb, style.
It seems that way, yeah.
I hadn't actually put it together.
With Professor Mikotoba.
Yes, that's right. It was arranged by one of the newspapers. They wanted some story or other about 2 former students who'd studied in Great Britain.
Of course, being a renowned author, the press never leave me alone. They secretly spy, snapshots, scribble stories, and scupper my privacy. As you can see, the conversation was written up in this newspaper here. Read it at your leisure, my provincial, struggling student friend. I have plenty of copies. Thank you very much. He practically threw that paper at me. The Suzaki Natsume article has been entered into the court's record. A newspaper containing an article about a discussion between my father and Suzaki-san. The debate became quite spirited. Anyway, following my interview with the professor, the lady in question appeared and made a very unexpected announcement.
1 second, I'm sorry, I want to check the court record.
Uh-huh.
We examined this, I think. Or not?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to check the newspaper. Oh my god. I'm sorry, I needed a moment to take this in.
Mm-hmm. Looks like Wagahai's kittens are doing well.
Yeah.
I should like to go with everyone to see your country's coast. Those were her words.
As I explained before, Miss Brett was never taken into custody. She continued to work in my laboratory, under strict surveillance, of course. This is just so ridiculous! I can't! Sorry.
No, I agree.
At which utterance, the university immediately contacted the government to seek guidance. And the response was, permit Miss Brett to go as long as a detective accompanies her.
That detective I am at liberty to divulge was me, Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga.
Thereby, the entire party departed cordially for the seaside, it seems.
It was extremely challenging to clear all other members of the public from the vicinity of the beach. Unfortunately, I am at peak physical fitness at the moment, so I was able to carry out my duty flawlessly.
Oh, he still has a cough that causes him to bleed from the I'm kind of concerned
That is
at this
concerning,
point.
actually, yeah. Oh my! Inspector, you do have something on your face now. How unsightly. I do apologize.
I like the tea towel design. The
Beach
towel design.
towel.
Does that mean?
It's me.
Oh,
Does
yeah.
that mean you went to the beach
Thank
too,
you.
Father?
No. Fortunately, I had work to finish off. But unfortunately, of course, it means that as my assistant Ray was invited to take my place.
Of course, being a renowned author, I didn't like to decline the invitation. But if only I had, I'd never have seen that awful sight. Relentlessly racked by remorse and regret.
Very well. I must now ask you to present your formal testimony to the court. You will give me an account of all that you had witnessed. All you witnessed on your impromptu excursion to the coast. That turtle looks so unhappy.
It does. Of course, Your Excellency. Relentlessly racked by remorse and regret, I am.
He does seem to be cursed, but is minding his own business and stumbling across corpses.
He does. The witness scene. On the day of the incident, I was ordered on a special surveillance assignment in this disguise. I just managed to catch that crab when I suddenly heard a caterwaul from behind me.
I'm sorry if you had to let go of your crab. That's sad.
I ran into the beach hut at once, where I found the pair in question. Yes, yes, yes! That young girl was astride the Englishwoman, dagger in hand, as she stabbed wildly.
Seriously?
You should really be better than this now, mate. Giving false testimony.
Like, legitimately.
I saw blood on the blade. It proved to me that she'd stabbed the victim multiple times.
If true, very damning.
Very damning, if true.
Indeed, it does appear that from this testimony that both witnesses here present saw it. The very moment of this heinous crime, even. Oh my god. I was going to say hideous, but no.
Now, if you will recall, I promised evidence as well. What phrase did I use again? Ah, yes, that was it. Damning evidence.
This is like a knife pen.
Knife pen.
But have you there, counsel? A so-called fountain pen, is it?
Correct, Your Excellency. I found it at the scene whilst examining the body.
So that thing I said about looking like fountain pen ink?
Yeah.
Sus!
It appears that in her dying moments, with her final ounce of strength, the victim clutched a piece of evidence that would positively identify her killer.
Oh, we've been through this before.
Yeah.
What? Your Excellency, if you would cast your eyes over the photographic print of the crime scene once more.
Ah, goodness me. Yes. The victim is clearly grasping something quite deliberately there in her hand. That poor swan.
Mm-hmm. That's right, the fountain pen. And if you would kindly examine the pen, Your Excellency.
Huh? The owner's initials have been engraved into the ebonite barrel. Oh, not this again. R.M. Ray Mambami. The initials of the defendant. Oh, yeah, sure. In previous cases, they were like, no.
Ah.
He's in sandals. Beautiful. The fountain pen will be admitted immediately as critical evidence. The fountain pen has been entered into the court record.
The pen that the victim was found grasping in her hand, it carries the initials R.M.
Yeah, I'm checking that out at the moment because I do this.
So,
Oh.
have I omitted anything?
Oh, we can't investigate here. That's a lot of shit. Actually, hold on. What do we have for the people here? Do we have any fun profiles on? Yeah, that one.
The Chief Inspector in the Imperial Police Bureau, who is surreptitiously submerged in the sea in order to keep watch over Miss Brett. He was present at the time of her murder. I guess that's why the turtle's on his head.
Yeah.
A former visiting student to the British Empire who returned to Japan after a spell of bad luck with the law. He's now a successful author and a witness in the current case.
Right.
Decisive testimony and damning evidence. There's a bright blue sky outside the courthouse today. Perfect weather to ascribe guilt, I feel.
I don't understand. The prosecutor Ouchie of 9 months ago had none of this man's poise.
Counsel for the defense. You may begin your cross-examination now. Naruhodo-san!
Naruhodo. Oh, that means... Oh, yes, me!
Is there another Naruhodo in my courtroom?
Actually, there isn't even a single Naruhodo in your courtroom.
Gus, Ryutaro, pull yourself together, please.
All right, I've seen this countless times as a judicial assistant. Find inconsistencies in the witnesses' testimonies to prove that they're lying somehow. And that's all there is to it. That's how a real lawyer would handle a cross-examination. So, let's see what I can do.
The witnessed scene.
No witnessing. By the incident, I was ordered on a special surveillance assignment in this disguise.
Hold it!
In that jaunty disguise? Not correct.
Wait,
No. I mean, it wasn't the first time I've worn this swimsuit for a dip in the ocean. It's tried and tested. Do what must be done to keep the Englishwoman under surveillance. Those were my orders that day. And this tried and tested outfit was the answer. Being able to blend flawlessly into a crowd is an important part of a detective's job. I submerged myself in the salty water, leaving only Mr. Turtle floating inconspicuously on the surface. Mr. Turtle loves the water. But there was no need for you to blend into the background on this assignment, really. Was there?
If that made you late arriving on the scene, I think perhaps you had your priorities wrong.
Perhaps I shouldn't pursue this line of questioning any further at the moment. I just managed to catch that crab when suddenly I heard a caterwaul from behind me.
hold it!
You're describing the victim's scream, presumably, Susaki-san? In more literary terms, you might say it was a scream that could have pierced the heavens. Kia! Or the like. Of course, that's just a metaphor. We renowned authors are wont to describing things so
Comfortably.
Shut up. Sasaki-san wasn't at all like this in England.
He is now comfortable.
He is now comfortable, Sasaki-san. Anyway, I hate that you spotted that. I spun around at the noise and the beach hut immediately fell under my gaze. Yes, the beach hut. The area is popular with government ministers. Many have seaside retreats there for rest and recuperation.
Ah, that's a very sussy spot then, eh?
Very. Sussy seagulls.
Yeah,
Sussy seagull summer?
that's the one. To be honest, there are seagulls there. 100% stabbed by seagulls.
Yeah.
Look at them, they are joining. They are in a little.
yeah.
Look at them.
They're scheming.
Yeah.
That's a plot of seagulls.
Yeah, what's
Sure.
a group of seagulls
I
called?
don't know. Do you
Flock?
want to look it up?
It's pretty sure it's just a flock of seagulls. It's not like something funny like a murder, even though it should be.
Murder is not a joking matter. What is a seagulls called? Colony or
Col-
flock?
How dull. How dreadfully dull.
And some other people say that a group of gulls is called a squabble.
Yeah, you know what? That sounds much better.
And this place, birdfact.com, says a scavenging of seagulls. So, I think,
Yeah.
I don't know. Locals are prohibited from entering the area, so it's always very quiet. Wow, so it also bans locals. That kind of area, huh? Ugh. The beach hut is a simple structure, erected as a place for people to change or take refuge from the sun. I can use multi-purpose. Although the Englishwoman commandeered the hut for herself. which meant that I was forced to change into my swimwear on the sand.
I imagine that was rather embarrassing for you.
Well, anyway, I tossed the crab aside and headed for the beach hut at a run. Or, in more literary terms, I decrabbed and beetled off hut-wise.
I
ran to the beach hut at once, where I found the pair in question. Did we actually... No, of course we can't press him on that last
Hold
bit.
it!
We already pressed him.
yeah.
Wait, by pair, you don't mean to say... But how could that be?
Oh, sorry.
No, you misunderstand.
Obviously, I mean the victim and the defendant, Raymond Bami-san.
Oh, it would have been helpful if you could have just said that from the outset.
If you jump to conclusions, you have to expect to fall flat on your face sometimes.
Dear me, pinning your hopes on such an outside chance. Foolish, very foolish. It really was an outside chance. I just wish I'd realised that before I said something silly. So, Inspector, why don't you tell the court how exactly you found the aforementioned pair in the hut?
Well, it was a sorry sight. A really grisly scene. I parted the Norrin curtain hanging in the doorway and stepped inside, only to see the defendant leaning menacingly over the lifeless body of the victim, sprawled on the sand. My glasses very nearly cracked at the ominous sight that met my eyes.
How thoroughly appalling.
He doesn't appear to be lying here.
Well, Suzeki-san, can you confirm what Inspector Hasanaga is saying, I wonder?
You'd like a literary man's opinion? Yes, that young girl was astride the Englishwoman, dagger in hand, as she stabbed wildly.
Hold it! Stabbed wildly.
I like how you're just doing everything.
Yeah, right? Because like last time I was like, oh, I feel bad because there are 3 characters that you're doing.
and I
They
was
just
like,
seem
no.
to constantly be talking
No,
with
I
each
was like,
other.
wait until
And
you
now
get
it's
to
like,
the case.
Yeah, which is fine. I'm okay with that. But
Yeah.
Stabbed wildly? You actually saw her do it?
oh, indeed. The terrible spectre, the terrapin inspector, the bloody torrent, the author's torment.
Hey!
Every sight and every sound is still carved in my melancholy memory.
Yeah, I don't know why there's a journalist hanging around.
Well, because he's so
Yeah, he's famous now, yeah. But
yeah, I don't know how he saw that unless he burst in the curtain or looked through the planks in the side.
we'll find out. Are you a dirty little peeping Tom?
Yeah, right. That was my impression, at least, as a future literary sensation. Oh, did you not spot the journalist last time?
Oh,
He's
yeah.
been popping up a lot.
Yeah.
I think, well, like, every time he does his big alliterative statements, it
Yeah.
seems like I think he pops
He
up.
pops up, yeah.
Yeah.
Counsel, what on earth was that shrill, effeminate scream?
Toxic masculinity, Archie.
No. No. What are you insinuating? I'm as manly a Japanese man as you.
I wonder if I might interject here, Zeki-san. Something you said is troubling me. That was my impression. Were your words just now, I believe.
Oh, so
Do you mean to say you're not confident that you really did see what you've described? No, I mean, yes! I know what I saw! My ears did not deceive me when I heard that scream, hence my eyes did not deceive me either. I could describe everything I saw vividly. I could publish it all in tomorrow's newspaper serial.
So,
It sounds as though the next installment of I Am a Cat may take a macabre turn.
I think this is a fool's errand. The more we press your author friend on what he saw, the more entrenched he's going to become.
Oh dear, how awkward. I saw blood on the blade. It proved to me that she'd stabbed the victim multiple times.
Oh wait, no! No, 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 no! Wrong button.
Oh no. I just have so many thoughts whirling around in my head. It's all I can do to stand here, wide-eyed and mute.
Goodness, my dear, you really must try to calm down.
But how am I supposed to find an inconsistency in what these two gentlemen are saying? I don't see why either of them would have any reason to lie.
What you must remember, I think, is that the witnesses may inadvertently lie at times. For various reasons. A misunderstanding, a mistaken observation, a delusion even.
Ah, a delusion.
What's important is that we determine the truth, and there's only one sure way to do that.
And what way would that be, Tamagotchi holder-san?
Oh,
Yes, with evidence, of course.
why is my Tamagotchi throwing a snarly hissy fit?
Why is your Tamagotchi? Actually, while you sort your Tamagotchi out, I will be very, very quickly right back. I just need
Okay.
to fetch a thing.
This Tamagotchi is such a whiny little madam. I don't know why she's like this. Sorry for the beeping that's gonna commence.
I return triumphant.
You have returned triumphant.
You missed half an hour. You did. I'm sorry.
No,
we started
yeah.
on. Well, no, 20 minutes.
Good 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We started on time.
Yeah, we did. We did.
Today, finally. We haven't missed much.
No. We're just pressing them on their
Yeah.
stupid statements.
They allegedly saw the defendant stabbing the victim wildly.
Yeah.
And
allegedly.
Suzaki-san is now a famous author.
Here, I'll show you. Look at this article.
Yeah.
Here he is being
Being
famous.
interviewed with Susato-san's dad.
Yeah.
That's, you haven't missed a lot. At all, really.
Mikotoba. That's his name.
Yep, Suzaki-san's dad.
Yeah. Spoken like a true judicial assistant.
Oh, watching the moonrise is more important.
Oh yeah, currently certainly.
Yeah,
It's so pretty.
it's really gorgeous.
Yesterday was
So-
absolutely insane here.
Yeah. I don't think he's evil now. I hope not, anyway.
No, I think he's just.
I think he just thinks what he saw was the truth.
Yeah. Okay. During witness testimonies, you can use R to pick a piece of evidence to present for consideration. So you need to listen carefully to each statement and compare what is said to the details in the court record. And if you find some conflicting information, that may be the inconsistency you're looking for.
Yes, it's all about inconsistencies.
Your phones cannot
Yeah,
never capture it
I
properly.
wish phones could do it properly. Yeah, the number of times I've tried to take a photo of the pretty moon out the window and I get something that's okay, but it doesn't capture the vibes.
Once you've identified the witness's statement that appears to conflict with a piece of evidence, present the evidence to the witness with X. And the way ahead will present itself to you, I'm sure.
Yes. Oh, all right then. I'll consider the details of all the evidence in the court record against each statement to find an inconsistency. I hope I'm up to the task.
Don't forget that you can have the witness repeat their statements as many times as you like. Everyone has to start at the beginning, remember? So those wide eyes are quite forgivable. And besides, there's no one else to defend the poor girl.
You're right. I need to listen to the testimony again, from the start.
Okay, so we're just gonna go
That
back
was that
to...
very last bit
yeah,
that
that's
you
the
didn't
one I
press,
wanna...
right?
Yeah. So I'm trying to get to because I accidentally did this rather than saw the blood on the blade and proved to me that she'd stabbed the victim multiple times. That's the one we wanted, right? Yeah.
She was stabbed multiple times. How can you be sure of that?
Wait, I thought she
Actually,
was
yeah, I was
stabbed
just
once
gonna
in the
say
lung
once.
with-
I literally was also like,
Yeah,
wait.
yeah, hang on, the thingy. Single
Piercing.
deep stab wound from behind, piercing a lung and resulting
There we
in fatal
go.
hemorrhage. Yeah.
Well, we'll let him finish, and then we'll just
Yeah.
we'll just
Very simply, from the blood on the blade. The blood? While I entered the hut, I saw the defendant holding the blade raised up in the air. Yes, yes, that's right. I saw it too. Oh. And I noted that there was blood on the blade already at that point. In other words, the victim had already been stabbed at least once by the time I arrived on the scene. Yes, yes, that's right. I saw it too. And the victim was already holding the defendant's fountain pen in her hand too. All of which means I can be sure the victim did not die instantly. Yes, yes, right. Saw it too. Maybe a year in London was too much for him. He sounds like he's forgotten how to speak Japanese.
wow. The logic of your argument is sound, at least.
Well, as I said, it is my guiding principle to carry out all testimonies flawlessly.
This is a horrible feeling. It's now going to reset again and make us go.
Yeah,
through
it
the
will
whole
do.
thing. I'm sorry.
Though. That's okay. Perhaps it should have been your guiding principle to protect the victim flawlessly? That's just my personal opinion, of course. Too real. Method acting.
Counsel, you will refrain from mocking the witness. Oh no.
So many thoughts. Ooh, yeah. So it's just the.
bloody, bloody,
blah,
bloody, bloody.
blah,
Oh, there we go. Nice and
You need
fast.
to do this, delusion, blah 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 blah. Give me a headache staring at it.
Don't look at it then. I'll let you know when it's safe. There we go.
Thank you.
So we're gonna push him on that statement he just made. Because
About the single
yeah.
stab wound, yeah.
Don't overshoot. We're gonna go. Oh, we're gonna present. Present.
Yeah, and your single wounds identified.
Oh!
With that accusatory cry that just welled up from deep inside me, I think I finally understand. Every time Kazuma-sama and Naruhodo-san have stood here at this bench, the stakes have been very, very high indeed.
What's the meaning of that menacing pose, Counsel?
I'd like the witness to clarify something for me. Who? What? Where? When? Oh! Not you, Suzuki-san. This query is directed at Inspector Hosonaga. And me? In your statement just now, you said that the victim was stabbed multiple times. Yes, that's right. As I said, when I entered the hut, the defendant was already standing over the victim, bloody knife in hand, like a murderous demon. And yet, that cannot be.
What? Get to the point, please, Counsel.
I'm glad to see she still
Yeah.
has her book. In the post-mortem report, it clearly states that the victim was stabbed one time only.
Ah.
In other words, Inspector Hosanaga's testimony is clearly flawed.
Ah,
And Suzuki-san,
Me?
you claim to have seen Mambami-san in the throes of stabbing the victim. Yes, I did. Wildly. But both you and the inspector confirmed the same point, that there was already blood on the knife that you saw the defendant holding. Yes, and... It's quite simple. We know the murder weapon was used to stab the victim only once. Therefore, there is no way there could have been blood on the knife if that single stabbing hadn't already occurred. Ah, true.
Then, what exactly is your contention, Counsel? Are you ever going to tell us?
Yes, Your Excellency. There's only one logical conclusion. What Suzeki-san in fact saw was not the moment that the defendant stabbed the victim at all, but the moment that the defendant in fact withdrew the blade from the victim's body.
That's still
Again, could we not
bad.
ask our friend what happened?
Yeah, like,
though?
come on, we clearly...
Like the fact that we go into this never
Yeah.
asking
No,
ever.
no.
It's like, okay,
Yeah.
that cannot be.
Excellent work, Susato. You exploded them with that objection, and then proceeded to pull them apart systematically.
Oh. Well, this takes me back. Yes, I seem to remember your cousin staged a scene much like this in that trial 9 months ago.
It's true,
Yeah, she
actually.
might have been attempting to render medical assistance, but you'd think she'd have said that, right?
Yeah.
Like,
You'd think, right? In their own... Like...
yeah.
A half-witted child with a half-baked objection attempting to steal the show.
You're right. There were certain similarities. Except that so-called half-witted child managed to outwit the prosecution, who has only half a head of hair.
Slander, my head is quite adequately dressed. In any case, all this talk of stabbing and withdrawing and multiple wounds, it makes not a jot of difference.
What? Why not?
Engage your brain, young man. When the accused first plunged the deadly weapon into the victim, that was the fatal blow. And it was that moment, just as she had withdrawn the blade ready for her next strike, that the witnesses saw. The knife was already tainted with blood because the accused had already stabbed the victim. All you have successfully shown with your little display is that the moustached author is prone to moments of extravagance.
I am in agreement with the prosecution. If the defendant was seen wielding the blade at all, that is sufficient ground for her actions to be viewed with suspicion.
But if she was withdrawing the blade,
Then we are back where we started.
Yeah, all the
yeah,
prosecutors.
they do. They have
Same
just have
clan
one clown book that they hand around, and they each write down notes in the margin,
Do you think
like
that?
how to be your own special, unique kind of clown.
Yeah, I think the bar for prosecution is actually just the circus.
Yeah. Well, so just like, because clowns, from what I've learned, every single clown's makeup is unique. They actively have to register their own, like, their makeup design. Yeah. I mean, I think when it comes to, like, actual, professional clowns, their makeup is all different. And I think, and
That's
correct me if I'm
difficult at some
wrong,
point.
or if it's, correct me if I'm wrong, or if it's, like, no longer valid, or not done this way. But at one point, certainly, I learned that they painted it on an egg.
An egg.
There was just like eggs and eggs and eggs with each specific clown's registered makeup on it. So I think it's much the same here. They all have to register in their little law book that they all share around which specific kind of clown they're going to be, and they each have to come up with a little gimmick. And
Yeah, you know what? That checks out.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what they paint it on.
The bar.
Yeah. Yeah, that's retell the case point for point, but make it sound like the lawyer didn't understand it every time they make a counterpoint. Yep. Sorry?
Consider this, young yokel boy. If the student girl is innocent, as you claim, then why would she have pulled the blade from the victim? And with a demon's cold-blooded composure, too. The prosecution demands an explanation, and it had better be good. Why did Ray pull out the knife?
Ah, yes. Going for the jugular.
What does Father mean by that?
Let the court hear you answer then, counsel.
The truth is, I don't really know. But I have to come up with a plausible reason here. We don't have a case. Sorry, here, or we don't have a case. And the reason why the defendant pulled the knife blade out of the victim's body was surely so she could
Save her life,
save
yeah.
her life. According to the post-mortem report, the victim's death was not instant. And that's correct. It's thought she would have remained conscious for a short while after sustaining the injury.
Indeed, giving her the time to take hold of this piece of evidence that clearly indicates her killer.
Yeah.
But the point is, being a medical research assistant, Minbari-san was compelled to act when faced with the wounded victim. Instinctively, she pulled the blade out in an attempt to save Miss Brett's life.
Did you hear that, Your Excellency? It would seem this is the best we can expect of this young yokel.
Indeed.
Is it just me, or does it suddenly feel much colder in here? Your Excellency, if I may,
Speak, witness.
I would like another opportunity to testify. In respect to the slipshod assertion just put forward by the Yokel Defence Council. I mean... Slipshod?
An excellent idea, Inspector. Our young yokel hopeful has a modicum of knowledge when it comes to the law, it seems. But in matters of medicine, he appears to possess not one iota of common sense.
Very well, Inspector. I will permit your request. You will testify again before the court on the subject of the Defence Counsel's assertion.
Yes, sir. I will do so flawlessly. But yeah, don't pull out a knife. Yes, quite. It's not smart, but pulling a blade from a wound without thinking could cause heavy bleeding.
Yeah, quite.
And that's basic knowledge that any medical research assistant with an ounce of sense ought to know. In other words, there's no good reason why the defendant would have tried to pull the knife from the victim. Let's not forget, the young student did have a motive for killing the victim. The man the victim murdered 9 months ago, Dr. Wilson, was the defendant's highly respected mentor. Is what you just said true, Inspector?
Yeah, so poison, that is how Dr. Wilson died. It was one hell of a story, because he had just got a tooth pulled, so he could only have water. He couldn't eat, and that was also one of the things in the scene, because it was really weird that the plate was in front of him, implying of course there was somebody else there, so we had to prove that there was somebody else there to begin with, and then kind of like go on down the path that she could have drank the water because she didn't have a dental wound, but if it enters the bloodstream, you're basically it's instant shit. He basically he ended up paralyzed. It's a horrible death, like that legitimately.
Really quite
I
disgusting.
hope that she doesn't find out how horrible her father's death was.
Yeah.
So anyway, With that in mind, you probably deserved what you got here. I don't know. Sorry, isn't what you said. True, Inspector.
Could pulling a knife from a wound really cause the wound to bleed heavily?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much.
Yes. Think of the weapon itself as a stopper in the wound that prevents excessive blood loss. Until a doctor is ready to provide proper treatment, that stopper shouldn't be removed.
Oh, I see.
Admittedly, if like a big fucking knife like this is pushed through, I don't think it'll make much difference.
This is why yokels should stay on the farm.
I love that I put oil on my chair to stop it from squeaking, and it hasn't stopped the squeaking at all. But now every time I get up, the chair just keeps spinning round and round and round and round and round for ages, and keeps knocking stuff off my desk because I'm not used to it being so. Yeah. So it did something. It just didn't do the right thing.
Yeah.
Anyone who's ever given someone a little poke with a knife and pulled it out again knows it.
So that proves I've never given anybody a little poke with a knife.
Yeah.
Why do you seem like you have?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I've never stabbed anyone, you see, or pulled a blade out of a wound, so...
Of course you haven't.
Of course he's a samurai, my bad.
Yeah. I didn't bring you up. I didn't bring you up to behave like a bandit.
Father, is it true what they're telling me?
Yes, it's basic remedial, thank you. Knowledge from medics. Ray would have been well aware of it. If she were to claim ignorance of such fundamentals, that would prove fatal in many ways.
But then, why would Ray have done it? Could she have pulled out that knife in full knowledge that it would be fatal for Miss Brett?
Sorry. I don't know.
Ray never even once mentioned anything about the knife to me.
Okay, go!
It seems almost impossible to believe, but could my friend actually have...
Susato!
Yes?
Pull yourself together. We mustn't lose sight of why we're here. Cancel. It's time for your cross-examination.
Oh, yes, Your Excellency.
However, I must warn you that if your cross-examination fails to identify any issues with the established facts, I will be moving to abdication immediately afterwards. Thank you.
He's abdicating.
He's abdicating.
I understand. Believing in your clients and fighting for their cause until the bitter end. I knew it would be hard, but I had no idea it would be this hard.
Forensic medicine primer.
Pulling a blade from a wound without thinking could cause heavy bleeding.
I guess all this person.
Hold it!
When you say doing it without thinking could be a problem, does that mean that if you use due care and attention, it would be alright? I wouldn't have thought this needed spelling out, really, but...
Sorry, I just... Boing.
Yeah, boing. Boing. The blade is like a stopper in the wound. Remove it and a serious hemorrhage will occur. In other words, a medic would need to be present before any attempt was made to withdraw the blade. Doing it without thinking would be madness. You just can't do it.
Oh, well, thank you for such a thorough explanation. You see, Counsel, when you act without thinking, the result is a bloodbath.
Back to the witness testimony, please.
That's basic knowledge. That's basic knowledge that any medical research assistant with an ounce of sense ought to know. Oops.
In that case, there's an obvious explanation here.
Which is... Why do I keep slipping into that for him? Why? Which is... Clearly the defendant, Raymond Bami-san, does not possess an ounce of sense. What do you think about that, Professor Mikotoba?
I'm not sure that should be labeling your best friends as lacking in common sense, right?
Well, I thought it would be better than labeling her as a murder.
I don't know. Young people today. If that's friendship, I don't understand it.
Careful, Council. A lack of common sense can be a very dangerous thing. I am so intimidated, but what the fuck is this?
Yeah, the fact that he's now just tapping his hand with it instead of the desk is very threatening.
The sound effect is also on a slight delay, so he slaps his hand and the sound effect plays afterwards, the little smacky.
Huh.
So it's like it vibrates through his hands.
Guess so.
Anyway.
Oh dear, that recoiled on me rather badly.
That's life, I'm afraid. A lesson everyone must learn.
Hopefully, you can see now that this is really basic medical knowledge. Being involved in medicinal research, Mambami-san would certainly have been aware of it. In other words, there's no good reason why the defendant would have tried to pull the knife from the victim.
Hold it!
If you get found guilty and smashed with the hammer where you stand, you're right.
Do you think he just goes, it's hammer time, and then...
I think it has to be.
But the defendant had suddenly encountered somebody she knew, lying on the ground, bleeding to death. The sight could have shocked her delicate sensibilities, causing her to remove the blade inadvertently. I really don't think inadvertent actions can explain this. The woman is a medical research assistant. I can't imagine she would behave so irrationally.
Oh, but irrational behaviour is a woman's prerogative, isn't it? Oh dear, you have a lot to learn about women. Only a small-minded man could have such bigoted views. Oh dear. Perhaps I'm letting my male persona take hold a little too much. Well, have I managed to convey the basics now? That should cover the medical side of the argument.
Let's not forget that the young student did have a motive for killing the victim.
Thank you.
Hold it!
Whatever the motive, it just isn't in Mambami-san's nature to do something so awful. But she had both motive and opportunity. That's very hard to argue against. But you don't know the defendant.
Objection! And you, counsel, do not appear to know the law.
Yes, evidence is the only way to convince the court of your argument, not feelings.
With this fledgling to defend her, I would almost say I pity the accused.
So do I.
Inspector, you will reiterate your point about the defendant's motive, please.
Ah, yes. Miss Brett was in many ways the sworn enemy of Mambami-san. The man the victim murdered 9 months ago, Dr. Wilson, was the defendant's highly respected mentor.
Suppress.
Hold it!
Well, yes, that's true. Dr. Wilson recognized Mambami-san's talent and offered her the position of assistant, despite her being a woman. She was extremely grateful to him. Yes, the Englishwoman appears to have... Englishman, even, appears to have been a very broad-minded individual.
Dr. Wilson had no time for outdated traditions. Well, I think we at some point are going to return to England.
Yeah, I think so.
I think, or maybe the whole crew
Unless
comes
the
over
whole
here.
crew comes over here, but I'm not sure about that.
And that would mean that Sholmes gets released in Japan, and I'm not sure
I
what
don't
that.
think anybody's willing for that to happen. Ooh.
Are you missing Fanziks, Ganondoodles? You didn't like Fanziks?
I think we are all
We all
missing
miss
Fanziks. I'm missing Fanziks a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hold on. He met with opposition, of course, but he believed firmly in Mambami-san's abilities.
Clearly the defendant was in the man's debt, which only serves to prove my point. This is hopeless. I can't find a single crack in this testimony anywhere. If Ray knew that withdrawing the knife from the wound would threaten Miss Brett's life further, I just can't think of any way to explain why she did it.
Susato, it's at times like these when it's especially important to remember the fundamentals.
The fundamentals? We haven't checked the court record. For the
Evidence?
pen.
Yeah, because we couldn't. There was nothing.
Yeah.
And maybe I might have updated. No, I can't examine it.
Oh, that's weird.
It doesn't let me examine it.
That's really strange.
I know. It's really stupid and annoying. Evidence is what counts in the courtroom, isn't it?
Of course, but I've been through the court record dozens of times already.
I think perhaps you're forgetting something, though. You needn't take the evidence at face value. You can and must examine it in greater detail too.
It wasn't locked behind an examination, was it?
I realise this is your first time playing the role of lawyer in the courtroom. I wonder if we couldn't examine it yet. So if you need reminding of the rudiments, thank you. You need only ask. I'll do my very best to help.
Examine the evidence in the court record. It's an idea, certainly. What should I do?
I know what to do. I don't need a refresher though.
Come to think of it, Kazuma-san and Naruhodo-san were always turning evidence over and over in their hands. Yes, I need to examine things in greater detail with A. I'm just imagining what it must look like when we were stuck a few times. Just like standing there in court for 40 minutes, just rolling a bit of evidence around and around and around and around.
Yeah. Poking various bits and pieces.
Yep.
While the judge is getting increasingly frustrated with us. But look in your eyes, I see it's coming back to you. Go through the court record again and have a thorough look at everything, Jesus. You may find a clue.
Yes, I'll do it straight away.
Okay. Oh look, we can examine it now.
It's like a Christmas miracle. It's not quite too late to be using that one, is it? The RM initials are very clearly engraved here.
This time we can't switch them around. And the fact that Miss Brett was clinging to this pen in her dying moments is very clearly a message too.
To identify her killer, you mean?
I don't think there can be any doubt that this is a key piece of evidence in this case. Okay. What's this?
There's some sort of emblem here, look. But it isn't a Yume University one.
It must belong to some other organization, I suppose. A business of some kind. But that would seem to imply that the pen doesn't, in fact, belong to Ray. The details of the fountain pen have been updated in the court record.
The fountain pen that the victim was found grasping in her hand. It carries the initials RM, as well as an emblem of some description.
Okay. We're gonna open this fucking thing, or what?
If we take off the pen's lid...
Okay. I've taken off the pen's lid, but it doesn't seem like it lets me investigate anything further right now. Oh, wait.
Now let's unscrew the barrels, shall we?
If this has blue ink, I'm going to scream. Oh, it's a lamy.
Oh
It's a
yeah,
refill.
so it is.
Wow, this is some advanced shit!
Yeah. This must be the little reservoir that holds the ink.
Yes, you can fill it by drawing ink from a bottle up through the nib.
Is something wrong, Father?
Just, that there doesn't actually appear to be any ink in there, that's all.
Oh yes, you're right. It's pretty much empty. Well, it could be on the verge of running out, I suppose.
There's a very small amount of liquids inside the ink reservoir. Can I check the color? No? No.
No.
Okay, sure, now we get a little check mark on this. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have investigated everything there is to investigate about this pen.
I hope so.
Right! So that's
Is there anything else we can examine that we couldn't before?
We have examined this. It's just bloody weird that she's holding the pen like that. It's like, what's it exactly gonna do? It's not opened up or anything.
Was she right or left-handed? Do we know?
No, we don't know. So multiple glasses. Should probably save.
Can we examine the newspaper as well? Sometimes that can be.
Yeah, I'll check if we can. Because I think it's just a magnifying glass thing.
I think you're probably right. We didn't have it before, of course, so.
Yeah.
Now we
We've
can unfold
unfolded
it,
it. Oh.
Raucous England returnees tell all. This is the interview with you and Sasaki-san, is it, Father?
Oh.
It looks as though it was quite an exchange.
Sorry, when it zoomed out, I think that there was the icon of the restaurant where the murder happened.
Ah,
In the very first case.
I see.
Anyway. Yes, he became a little over-animated when he was talking about his time in England. The photographer managed to capture the moment his hand karate chopped me on the neck.
I do hope you weren't hurt.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, that's it there.
The restaurant where Wilson was killed.
Yeah. What's on the back here, I don't.
This is the newspaper from Sasaki-san. There seems to be an important article on the back page as well. Exclusive. Deadly poison stolen from Yume Medical Research Laboratory. From Yume's medical research. Father, isn't that your lab?
What the? Let me see that! The poison's been stolen?
It's this morning's paper that Sasaki-san gave us. Are you saying you didn't know?
As embarrassing as that is for the head of the laboratory, I didn't. I've not heard such a thing. Where on earth could a reporter have gleaned this information?
Come to think of it. Oh, sorry. There was no article mentioning this story in our paper this morning, was there?
Yeah, you guys were like, poison? It's a highly toxic poison we've been working on in the stricted confidence. I'd put Ray in charge of the project.
Ray? She was managing it.
If that's what's written here is true, it means that she tried to hide the theft from me. And moreover, the details were leaked somehow.
I don't believe it.
We need to read this article very carefully.
Article about poison that was stolen from the laboratory at Yume University. Even my father, who's responsible for the lab, knew nothing of the incident.
Okay, so can we learn like
Can we read it carefully? It looks like no.
Bruh.
That's exciting. We must read it very carefully. Actually, do we tear the article off or something? Is it in separately in the evidence? Yes, it is. Following a lecture at Yume by Soseki Natsume on the 11th of August, it's come to light that a very disturbing incident took place. A deadly poison being secretly developed in the university's forensic science laboratory was stolen.
Do you think Sasaki sent it?
Yeah. Even the smallest amount entering the body, either via the mouth or via a wound from a poison-laced blade, would prove fatal in minutes. Current methods cannot detect the newly developed chemical. The university would have to be consulted. Onset of symptoms occurs in minutes, starting with impaired breathing and ending with acute contraction of the pupils prior to death, which she had.
Yeah.
Such symptoms would be suggestive of this toxin. It's apparently an entirely new synthesis of alkaloids and rumoured to have been commissioned by the military. I wonder if she was trying to... No, that really doesn't work.
Yeah, the pen was like, what, did she try to open up a windpipe?
I wonder.
Because, like, the breathing, you know, the difficulty breathing.
I have a sneaking suspicion that the pen was how it was snuck out.
Yeah.
In the reservoir, the ink reservoir.
Yeah, I think so. You're right.
Potentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the fact that she was stabbed in the lung doesn't make sense, because having a hole in the lung doesn't help anything.
No, exactly.
like,
That's
normally
the thing.
that would
I
be
was
the
thinking in the
windpipe.
throat. Yeah, but that's not
But
exactly.
she
That's
was
not what happened
stabbed
just
into
there.
the
Like I
back,
can't.
yeah. But she was definitely poisoned.
Yeah, look at the bottle here. I can't believe we have 2 poison cases.
Yeah, well, I guess that's the point, isn't it?
Yeah, there are footsteps all over the shop because
Yeah,
there's like.
but that would make sense too.
Yeah.
Also at the back.
I like how useless this fucking magnifying glass
It
is.
really is.
But I
pointless.
think, like, for example, if you're playing on the small screen, you could technically just go over and just have a tiny, like.
Yeah.
Also,
It's not quite big enough to be useful because
No.
it's such a tiny amount of stuff that you see.
anyway,
But yeah, her pupils are contracted.
yeah. In other words, there's no reason why the defendant would have tried to pull the knife from the victim except. Don't forget the young student did have a motive for killing the victim, which is true. And the victim of them was. Yeah, that's okay. Let's see.
Yeah, no good reason. I guess that could have been a good reason, but I don't know if that's the evidence that they want us to put, of course.
So there's no reason with the article on.
Yeah,
Yeah, like.
yeah. I wonder. We saved, didn't we?
Not recently. I know what to do, but how?
Exactly. Same old, same old.
In the first case, no less. Normally,
Yeah,
it's like
right.
they hold your hand.
I don't get this at the moment. Like, at least one of the 2 stream days, I just keep falling asleep, like, on stream. Like, I am literally having to fight.
Oh no!
You know, when you're just, like, literally
Yeah. Yeah.
dozing off. Like, I'm literally... So if I sound a little slurred, that's why I'm genuinely struggling with not falling asleep right now. And it seems to be happening, like, at least once
It's
a day
weird.
on our stream days. It's
Hmm.
really irritating. Like, I wasn't sleepy, and now I'm just like, ugh. But yeah. No reason with the article, I think, is the thing we should try, though.
Yeah.
But-
This one, yeah. There's no reason for the defendant tried to pull the knife from the victim.
We didn't miss any other bit of evidence, did we? Like, no, the photograph and also the autopsy report is
Yeah.
just...
Sorry, this
A
one,
report.
right?
Yeah, I
The
think
poison
so.
article.
Objection!
No. Hmm?
I was about to read it.
Oh! There is one possibility. One very good reason why the defendant might have decided to withdraw the knife from the victim's wound. What?
Huh. The yokel not only has a poor grasp of the law, but is also a poor loser. Tell us, then, what possibility do you think you've identified?
It's here, in this newspaper article. An article about a deadly poison having been stolen from a laboratory at the Imperial Yume Uni...
Objection!
The victim perished from a stab wound. Poison has no relevance in this case.
But...
Sorry. Prosecutor. Ouchie. You will let the defense speak.
But a newspaper article. The court cannot rely on the kind of hearsay those wretched publications carry.
Counsel for the defense. I am going to need some tangible basis for your claim. You will indicate to the court precisely what part of the newspaper article mentioned affirms your assertion.
Your Excellency!
Yes, of course. Thank you. Ray would never have done something to further endanger Miss Brett's life without just cause. The reason why the defendant pulled the knife from the victim's body is explained in the article where it says deadly in tiny quantities, I guess. Maybe?
Yeah.
I can't think what else it would be. Maybe, I don't know. Or stolen.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? Like, why is the poison being developed? They don't really...
I don't actually remember them saying that.
No.
Oh, the military.
Yeah.
That was,
Yeah, shall I try the stolen one? If we lose 1 life, it's not the end
yeah,
of the world.
okay. Fine.
And the poison was apparently stolen from a medical research laboratory at Yume University.
It's possible she knew about... Yeah. Yes, it would seem so. Calling the department's security practices into question.
The very department of the professor standing so nonchalantly opposite me, I believe.
Susato, Ryutaro?
Oh, yes, Father?
Was there a reason you felt it necessary to highlight the fact that the theft occurred in my department?
How can I explain it? It was the first detail I cast my eye over, I suppose.
I suggest you read the article again, carefully, okay?
I'm so sorry. Oh dear, Father's fuming.
Well, we got to see an extra bit of text. It's always fun, right?
Deadly in small quantities, please.
Yeah.
And thank you. Maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, no sorry.
The article reveals the following property about the poison in question. When the toxin enters the body on a knife laced with the poison, it's rapidly absorbed and causes death in minutes.
You knew it?
Are you suggesting...
If the knife used to attack Miss Brett was laced with this very poison, it would explain why the defendant, Membami-san, would have withdrawn the blade as soon as possible.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, the truth is... it was an attempt to stop the poison from entering the victim's body.
What?
Objection! This is complete and utter nonsense. Not at all. The defendant withdrew the knife blade from the victim's body not to accelerate the woman's demise.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Would just stabbing
Yeah,
not be
like-
enough?
You'd think,
Like-
right?
But to save her life, and the prosecution cannot deny the possibility. Have you not read the post-mortem report? The cause of death was hemorrhage. The word poison appears nowhere in the document. Well, that's because by acting quickly to remove the blade, the defendant prevented the poison from taking hold. Objection! Oh, please. This is clearly desperation. The weasel's last breaking of wind. Poison has nothing whatsoever to do with this case, as I believe the defense is well aware.
Correct.
We have no proof that the information in this wretched newspaper article is at all reliable anyway.
Yeah, it's literally in the article the poison wasn't detectable. I know, right? Also,
Yeah.
the pupil constriction. It's
Yeah.
in the post-mortem. It's literally... In that situation, what the student should have done is wait for medical assistance to arrive. But instead, you claim she suspected poisoning and took the potentially lethal decision to remove the blade. She must have had a strong reason for her suspicions then, or the argument makes no sense.
Exactly. Well put, Inspector. On what grounds did she do it, yokel?
Why did Ray suspect the stolen poison was involved? If you want grounds, I'll give you grounds.
Pupils.
What?
You can't possibly...
From your expression, Counsel, it would appear those are not empty words. But naturally, as you stand in this courtroom as a lawyer, you must be aware that words alone, empty or not, are of no value in our modern justice system. The court demands evidence.
Yes, Your Excellency. I'm well aware of that. I've seen it many times from my place at his side in the Old Bailey.
In that case, Counsel, will you present the proof to the court now? What evidence demonstrates a clear link between this case and the poison in the newspaper article? Weehoo.
Take that!
I hope that's it.
Oh would ask the court to refer to the notes section of the post-mortem report. Yeah, which reads, extreme meiosis, pupil constriction, was observed in the victim. Oh. Clearly, being a yokel with no knowledge of forensic science, I have no idea, so please do tell me. But presumably, the fact that this condition of the victim was noted in the post-mortem report means that it's an unusual symptom of death?
Well,
Under normal circumstances, the pupils dilate when someone dies. If there was an extreme constriction instead, that's most certainly unusual, yes.
what are you doing, you yokel detective?
In the newspaper article, there's the following information about the stolen poison. Onset of symptoms occurs in minutes, ending with acute contraction of the pupils prior to death.
What?
If the defendant, upon seeing the victim stabbed in the back, happened to notice that the pupils of Miss Brett's eyes had constricted severely,
Yes, as a medical research assistant, she would have suspected poison immediately, without doubt.
Prosecutor Ouchie, I think you'll agree. This is very compelling evidence.
You yokel student and yokel professor!
I'm starting to hate it more.
Yeah.
I believe the defense has expertly demonstrated a credible reason for the defendant's actions.
No.
Is it Yujin?
Yujin?
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Mikotoba. Yes, Your Excellency. I believe you are best placed here to confirm or deny the veracity of the defense counsel's argument. You will tell the court the truth about the details reported in this newspaper, please. Well, he didn't know, so this is useful, isn't it? It pains me to have to admit it. But I'm afraid I don't know. You don't know? The toxin was kept under lock and key in my laboratory, certainly, but I was unaware of any theft. Do you mean to tell the court that the reports of this theft are unfounded? No, Your Excellency. Without returning to the laboratory to investigate myself, I couldn't say.
Ha! Listen to the bumbling academic. Unaware of the theft of secret state research from his own workplace until he reads of it in the newspaper.
I take full responsibility for the incompetence of my supervision.
Father.
Mwah. A pitiful situation for a university professor. You should have more control over your students rather than allowing them off on killing sprees.
That's totally unfounded.
Oh. None of this is Professor Mikotoba's fault. It's all my fault.
Right.
Panisa, you stand accused here. Outbursts like this will not be tolerated. But it was me. I was the one who noticed that the poison we were developing had been stolen that day. What?
So you knew.
I've been placed in charge of overseeing the project. It was the day that the professor and Sasaki-san were interviewed together for the newspaper. That's when I noticed that some of the poison was missing. Just a tiny amount it was. Why didn't you let me know immediately? I was scared. The whole project was supposed to be confidential, but some of the toxin had somehow been taken. So I decided I'd try to get it back before anyone found out. Because I had a very good idea who the thief was. See, this would have been useful information.
Yeah,
for her,
right?
but I mean,
The thief. You don't mean.
yeah, of course, it was the dainty English woman. Miss Giselle Brett, she did seem to like poison. That's why I decided to join the little group of people going to the seaside. Inside the beach hut, I confronted Miss Brett. But she just sat on a stool at the back of the hut, smiling sweetly at me as if she knew she was untouchable. I know it was you who stole the poison.
Well, now, whatever do you mean?
And then she suddenly got to her feet. Before falling to her knees in front of me and then collapsing on the floor.
Oh, there's plenty of holes in the back of the thing, so she could have been stabbed literally through the holes in the wood.
Yeah.
Because if she was sitting on the stool at the back.
That's when I saw the knife in her back. I couldn't understand what just happened. And then, a moment later, I was seized with fear. The pupils of her eyes they'd shrunk to tiny pinpoints. Yeah, and an empty fountain pen. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. In other words, you realized that the victim was suffering the effects of the stolen poison. My mind started racing. I hadn't seen anything pass Miss Brett's lips while I'd been with her, which left only one possible way for the poison to have entered her body.
On the blade of the knife in her back.
And that train of thought was what spurred you to withdraw the blade. Yes, if the amount that had entered her bloodstream was small enough, she might still have a chance. That's what I hoped. Really, I'm so sorry for staying silent all this time. Your attempt to hide the truth of what happened is not something that can be overlooked. However, I have duly noted the courage with which you have confessed in the end. Thank you. Thank Your Excellency.
It's barely perceptible, but I do think the balance has shifted a little here in this courtroom. Now.
Objection!
Your Excellency, do not be deceived. The victim just collapsed before your eyes, you say? Well, Membami-san, if that is the case, perhaps you could explain how Miss Brett came to be stabbed.
Well,
You have no answer, because the simple truth is that you stabbed the victim, motivated by revenge.
Objection!
And you have no conclusive evidence to prove that assertion, do you?
Oh, I have evidence, and it is very much conclusive.
What's the prosecution counsel up to? It was brief, but he hesitated for a moment there. I'm almost sure of it.
you will produce the aforementioned evidence at once. Sorry, Prosecutor Ouchie. I'm gonna keep calling him Ouchie. Just putting it out there. I'm just being fancy.
Perhaps some praise is due, young yokel student.
What?
I had imagined there would be no need for me to submit this evidence.
Yeah, he really does take it from the same handbook, doesn't he? Oh look, more evidence that I just happen to have in my back pocket.
But you've brought this on yourself!
What the?
Could a more damning shot exist? The cruelty in the air on that beach is almost palpable. This is taken from the back of the hut, presumably.
Well, that doesn't look like a knife to me.
I mean, it could easily be like with a round handle.
Yeah.
She doesn't look like she's pushing it in though, to me.
No.
But
This evidence, more than any other, reveals the true extent of the accused's murderous nature.
So who took this fucking photo?
yeah, right?
Like,
From the outside.
For it shows the precise moment that Membami-san plunged her dagger into the victim's back.
why
So it
would
means
she
that
not?
the photograph was taken presumably by some kind of peeper,
Yeah,
at best.
yeah.
Given that, you know, they are taking photographs into a beach hut.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's not true. No.
I don't believe it. Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
the journalist. They think it has to
he
be.
was just busy. He was trying to get a shot of what's his face,
his
and ended
face,
up with
yeah.
this instead.
Yeah, I think so. But can we, when we get a second, look at the court record again?
Yeah.
And,
It hasn't been submitted yet.
No. I meant the actual original crime scene photo.
Yeah.
That one. Because she said she was sitting on the stool
Oh,
at the
yeah,
back,
there's a
right?
gap.
And there's a massive
Yeah.
gap right behind her
Yeah.
where she could have been stabbed through
Easy
the wall.
peasy, lemon
Yeah.
squeezy, like legitimate.
Because I wasn't sure if it was
yeah,
if it
there is
lined
a
up.
gap.
But that was my original thought, was that
Yeah.
potentially she could have been.
Yeah.
But it didn't occur to me that she'd be.
So where did this asshole
Sitting
take the
down.
photo? Like from here?
It looks like this kind of behind
Because
the dress
this,
or
like, yeah.
something. Because it was.
Yeah.
Oh no, from the side here maybe.
Yeah, here-ish, either way. And
I
then
think
some-
it's on that corner
Yeah,
where the dress
this,
form
this,
is.
yeah, exactly.
That kind of vague
Which
area,
is,
which doesn't have any real big holes in it, but definitely
Oh.
she was stabbed through the hole in
Yeah.
the wood.
Counsel for the defense, was it you who was responsible for that shrill scream that just pierced my
Oh,
courtroom?
I'm sorry, was it supposed to be a shrill scream? My bad.
Oh, yes.
Perhaps his voice has yet to break. These yokels are slow of mind and slow to mature.
So rude. So rude.
You're just jealous because this yokel has better hair than you.
And better eyebrows, generally better everything. I'll show you who's slow to mature.
Careful there. Susato is starting to show her face here. It is often said that a picture is worth 1,000 words. And here we have ample proof. The court will now accept this extremely cogent photographic print as evidence.
The incriminating photograph has been entered into the court record. A photographic print taken at the moment the victim was attacked. My friend Ray can be seen kneeling over Miss Bread. You want to strangle this man? Defend you next? Yeah, you'll be up next.
Yeah.
I'll do all the
Oh yeah,
voices.
look, like he's pushed some stuff aside, look, to get like a
Yeah,
little
it looks like
peephole
it's
in.
been, but it's
Wow.
actually kind of strange because you'd think that this would be quite visible on the other,
Yeah.
but I guess not.
No, I wonder if it's yeah.
You'd think it would be really
suspend or
visible. In
disbelief.
fact, the angle that it's taken at, it would be visible in the other photo for sure, which it's not. But yeah, I think that's just trying to pull it
Yeah,
out.
it's one of those
little
thin
round,
lights, yeah, those thin round doohickeys, yeah.
yeah, kind of like
Also, this woman was, by the way, do not feel bad for her. She was a horrible racist piece of shit who thought she didn't want to speak Japanese because she didn't want to sully her mouth with those disgusting words while
Right.
living in Japan.
I've just noticed that her hair kind of matches the logo on the fountain pen,
It does, doesn't it?
which is a little on the nose, but what can you do?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
That poor swan.
she's just cosplaying as a Vespa Queen. Yeah, it does look like there's like a bicep wide hole there. But I have a suspicion that it looks bigger because of the camera lens,
Yeah, I think
maybe?
so.
Like,
yeah.
but at the same time, the reeds.
Well,
Or is it like very thin grasses, like at the side?
yeah, usually it kind
Yeah,
of
it
is.
would have to be like in this corner here, I think, given the
Yeah.
hole. And you can't see anything. And also, you can't see the stand with a handbag on it or
No.
anything either, which I do think is weird.
It's really implied it's taken from like here, I think.
Yeah, which there's no really a hole there.
Well, suspend or disbelief.
Hang
These
on.
photos have been. Oh, sorry.
Yes, no, it's fine. There are a few bits and pieces of
Yeah.
holes actually in the matting. My
Yeah.
monitor is kind of dark, so I can't see. properly,
Yeah,
but-
same for mine. Anyway.
I can't believe he's had a photograph like that up his sleeve the entire time.
Yeah, well, you should
It
have known.
reminds me of someone. It's such a stark image. I'm genuinely lost for words.
Wait a minute. I don't understand. How did you? I mean, who took that photograph?
Ray?
Objection!
That's of no importance here. Stop trying to divert attention.
Objection!
The outer lines are made to be hated, aka the pains, Winston and Gaspin in modern Ace Attorney. The first prosecutors for the player to encounter and get annoyed by how obnoxious they are. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it is a very good point. This guy is designed to be awful.
Yeah.
And then you get Van Zieks.
It's
And it's like, he's awful, but it's like, oh, I hate you, senpai. Whoever took this photographic print was a witness to Miss Brett's death. Yeah, so this is the thing. They must have seen who stabbed her, surely. Or stabbed her themselves.
Mm-hmm.
The court must be allowed to hear this person's testimony.
Yeah.
Ah!
He's becoming more Bertley with the...
Yeah, I mean, I've got to get practice in.
Yeah.
I've got to get practice for Birdley. Notice that I am doing this
Without pinching my nose like I had to with Birdley.
He's a clown, but he's our clown.
Yeah.
He belongs to all of
Yeah,
us.
this guy doesn't even deserve the clown outfit. Like, he doesn't.
No, not even. No, he's wearing his own clown outfit.
Yeah, it's true. I will uphold the defense's demand. The prosecution will reveal the identity of the person responsible for taking this photograph at once.
Well, I'm afraid I can't do that.
Pardon?
You see, this print arrived at the Imperial Police Bureau headquarters by express post yesterday. But there was nothing to indicate the sender's name or address. The provenance of the print is unknown.
Goodness!
Are we trying to understand? I mean, are we to understand them, Counsel?
Hold on, I'm gonna open this for a second. As you can see, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's that
that's
guy.
definitely related
Yeah.
to this guy. They're in full knowledge of the fact that this photograph has the murkiest of origins. You nevertheless believe it fit for submission as evidence in the Supreme Court.
When you first produced that print before, I noticed that you hesitated for a brief moment, because you knew that it wasn't completely reliable evidence, didn't you?
Silence, you yokel student and blabbering professor! What matters is the blatant truth that this print so eloquently expresses.
But the defendant has already admitted to pulling the blade from the wound. Clearly, this isn't the moment that the knife was plunged into the victim's back, but
The moment it was withdrawn. Don't waste this court's time with your ramblings.
oh my god. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Without knowledge of who produced this print, we have no means of verifying the claim. And the scene it captures is without doubt the most compelling evidence presented to the court. If the defense is unable to shed any further light on the matter, I believe the conclusion is clear.
Oh no.
Susato, this is the time for you to fight. If what you've established so far is true, then there can be no doubt. This photograph shows the moment that Ray withdrew the blade from the victim.
Yes, we just need to prove that. Somehow.
You'll have plenty of time to rue your defeat on the slow train back to the provinces. And to rue the day you came up against Takatsuchi Ouchi in a court of law.
If I can't
Determine who took this photograph, then the trial is going to come to an end.
It's muscle memory.
Yeah, I understand.
It's beautiful.
Like, I wait as
Fucking
well. Like, I
glorious.
don't register it because I'm like, well, this is very clearly yours.
Also because the fucking I see Ryu.
Yeah.
I go like,
and you're like,
it's me.
Me!
I was like, oh no.
there
This is
must be a
terrible.
clue somewhere. There must be some way of working out who took it.
Well, counsel.
Your Excellency, the burning question is who took that photograph? And the truth is...
We're gonna say have the answer. We're gonna hold on. We don't certainly have him in the people yet, but we'll go for it. We're just gonna, because we think that it's the photographer who.
Can we save? Do we have the ability to save?
We have plenty.
We might as well save, just in case.
Cheat.
I have the answer.
This isn't about whether I can or can't come up with the answer now. I simply have to. The identity of the person who took this dramatic photographic print is, I assure you, something the defense can and will reveal.
What? No, you can't possibly. But as you so boldly claim that you can, please do enlighten us.
Unfortunately, I'm unable to present a name.
How utterly underwhelming. Did you really believe you could...
However, I am able to present evidence. The defense has a piece of evidence that reveals important details about the photographer's identity.
What?
Very well then, counsel. Present your proof to the court. Which piece of evidence do you claim reveals something about the identity of the mystery photographer? Fountain?
Oh wait, did we actually examine that photograph? I assume we did, didn't
Yeah,
we?
we
We
did.
did. Multiple times, yeah.
I think it's the fountain pen.
You reckon? I think it's more likely to be the interview.
I mean, yeah. Oh yeah, actually that's a good point. I wondered if it was the fountain pen, but no, there's nothing sussy.
Like, I think it's more likely to be because he keeps saying
You're
about
right,
the fact that
present.
the
Yeah.
journalist is...
Of course it's the journalist, yeah, you're right. Duh. What is that? The newspaper again? What is that?
raucous.
Raucous! England returnee. Tell all.
It's not the headline that's relevant here, Your Excellency. It's the photograph. If you look at it closely, you'll notice that there are some white lines on the right-hand side. Oh, I
I thought
did
it was
actually
just
pay
folds.
attention to that, but I hadn't really paid attention to both of it.
Yeah, I thought there was an awkward fold on both
Yeah,
of them.
same.
Oh my god. The game is hand-holding us.
Like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
That happened to me when I was playing the very first one as well. There'd be stuff that I was just like, well, that's obviously just designed to
Same.
be, like, fluff.
Yeah,
And
same.
it turns out to be, it's a crack in the camera screen, like camera lens. You're
Yeah.
right, I think.
Yeah. Ah, yes indeed.
Or a scratch, I
They
guess.
had already caught my eye as it happens.
What of it? A shadow of some kind, presumably. From the branches of a tree or the like.
There are no trees growing inside my laboratory at the university, I can assure you.
Now, if you look closely at this photograph... Yeah, I wondered what they were, but I just assumed it was like some bits of plant matter or something hanging
Yeah.
down.
Good gracious!
Yes, exactly the same pattern of lines is present on this photograph too.
Objection!
Well, that tells us nothing. Yes, it's a shadow of some kind, definitely, from the branches of a tree.
Well, there wouldn't be any trees growing inside a hut at the beach, Council.
What's quite remarkable about it is that the patterns are absolutely identical. How could such an extraordinary similarity have transpired?
The curious matching pattern that appears on both photographic prints is a result of a camera defect.
Yeah. Some tree branches.
Silly cannon doodles. Have you never seen a shadow before? They very clearly form white cracks on the ground. And camera lenses. And photographs. And inside laboratories.
Yeah.
Stereographs, clearly. It's true. That's why. Fucking...
Oh!
Everyone go cross-eyed on 3, 2, 1. Woo! Obviously, it must be due to a problem with the camera used to take the photographs.
With the
photographic device?
Yes, you can confidently say that the camera's lens must be scratched, and that the scratched lens causes unwanted lines to appear on every print taken with the device.
Quote Van Seeks.
No.
Yeah.
In short, the two photographs under consideration here were taken with the same camera.
But there must be hundreds of such camera devices here in the capital. It would be utterly impossible to identify the owner of this particular one.
Well, considering London only seems to have like 6 people living in it, I'm sure we can do this too.
Also, isn't it not the journalist who's literally following Suzuki-san around?
It seems so. I mean, that is my current...
Yeah, the one who's literally in court with us now.
Yeah.
Conveniently, with the smear of ink on his hand.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're forgetting, Professor Algie, that one of the photographs featured in a newspaper article.
A newspaper? Ah!
That's right. The author of that article is the mystery witness to this crime.
What? Wah!
No way.
Wah!
Many more?
Oh. Many
I see why you were called a raucous England attorney.
What are you yelling about? You've already testified.
It's
Many
memo. It's
Many
many
memo.
memo, I tell you. Many memo. Me, memo.
I'm just gonna leave it on this for a second while I sip my tea.
I'll also take the opportunity to...
Hydrate time.
Yeah, many memo, the journalist. It's very also Leighton-like. Suzuki-san, what was that? Did you say many memo? Ever since I returned to Japan, a reporter from the Shoyu News has been hounding me, following my every move. A reporter by the name of Written Many Memo. When they get it right, they get it so right.
Naruhodo is bad enough by
Yeah.
itself.
I'm still delighted that I saw that thing.
Yeah.
That where because Naruhodo meaning like, what does it mean? I see.
I
Something
don't.
Like that? I don't. Hang on. I took a screenshot of it. Back up.
Now I don't want to misquote it.
Yeah, exactly. Here it is. I have it right here. I mean, it's from
Yeah,
from
the
like an
Ide.
older guide. Yeah, it was from an older language guide, and I was just flipping through it because I thought it was really interesting because it's got things like, who is that actress? Like, ano joyu watare desu ka? And like all that stuff, and it's like, what does that mean? Blah blah blah. And then I see, and it's just naruhodo. Yeah, it means I see. Allegedly,
Yeah, I see.
according to this vague translation, but yeah,
Yeah.
approximately. But yeah, can I get a playbill? Suji kaji ga arimasu ka?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I understand. Yeah. Actually, I understand is a much better way of contextually translating it, because I see in this context is I understand.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, given that this is an older English guide, I see. But yeah, that makes sense essentially. Anyway, I took a screenshot of it because it suddenly just shot out at me. I was like, oh, wow. But I'm just really mad about Written Many Memo. A reporter by the name of Written Many Memo, yes, hounding me from dawn till dusk.
Now that he mentions it,
They secretly spy, snapshot, scribble stories, and scup up my privacy.
could that same reporter be...
A camera to the left of him, a notebook to the right. There I am, stuck in the middle with Written Memo. Yeah, he has ink on his hand.
So, you're saying that the picture was taken by...
By many memo, yes! By Lord, Your Excellency Esquire.
Officer, find this newspaper reporter at once and bring him to my courtroom. We will adjourn for a short recess in the meantime.
Do you think he ran, or what?
I don't know, yeah.
Yes, Your Excellency.
As you say, Your Excellency.
And one more thing. I want this knife, the murder weapon, examined for traces of poison. I like how this knife hasn't been in our fucking thing. You will solicit the assistance of the Imperial University Medical Department for the task. Understood?
It seems to also have a little button on the side, so presumably it's one of those ones,
Yeah, where
basically
you
like
can,
a flip knife type thing, but
Yeah.
not. Very illegal, them.
Nah. Many memo.
He has ink on his hand. But yeah, can't believe we hit a to be continued already. I also realised earlier on that we didn't do a single scrap of investigative work yesterday. It was all just reading.
Uh-huh.
And it just
I know.
it astonished me because I hadn't registered at the time. But yeah, we didn't do any investigating at all.
Yeah.
Did we?
I
No,
don't
we
know.
didn't. We were just playing the very last piece.
Yeah.
It was all it was all dialogue,
Yeah.
and I hadn't even noticed.
Also, I have a question.
Yes.
Because we were talking about languages.
Quest away.
And I had to just look this up.
Yes.
I saw this tweet earlier, and can you explain to me why Wi-Fi in the train is funny? From an
Those
English
people
person.
are like, stop making fun of us, and then you go there and you're riding the train to your friend's house, and your phone is like, there is one open network, Wi-Fi in the train.
Wi-Fi? Wi-Fi.
Well, I mean like Wi-Fi in the train. Like, I guess Wi-Fi in the train?
I don't... Why does it have
Wi-Fi
so many
in-
likes?
I think they are making fun of the fact that Dutch sounds like old style, slightly racist stereotypes of people of colour speaking.
This is a Brit
I
writing
think.
it, so...
Because Wi-Fi in the train is, I
Oh.
think, maybe what they're going for.
Ah.
As somebody who is familiar with Dutch and also grew up with Danish language,
Oh, yeah, of
I
course
often
it's-
cannot identify why it's funny. On the other hand, pagina.
Yeah, vagina is funny.
Yeah,
where you
like-
pronounce it like...
but yeah,
none
I-
of these people are talking
I
about
think-
vaginas.
I think they're making fun of the fact that it says Wi-Fi in the train, and they don't. It's basically okay. And I don't usually like it when people go like, "Oh my god, stop making fun of something just because you don't understand it." Because sometimes things are funny, but in this case, I think the problem I have is that I can't help a little mental chuckle every time I go to the Netherlands and see a supermarket worker with "Ich bin doof" on the back of their jacket, because in my brain it looks like "Ich bin doof." But it's not funny because that means I'm deaf. And it's
Yeah.
there to basically so that people know that they're deaf. But I always have a little internal chuckle because I'm like, "Hi, Bidoof." And then I'm like, "Stop being such a bitch."
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I partly understand why they're going like Wi-Fi in the train, but also
Yeah.
I don't think it's that funny anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to some of the other things that your language has going for you.
I just don't get it. It's...
You got to understand that any of your words that have the double O in them, like doof, just look like doof to me.
Yes.
And "Ich bin doof" just looks like bidoof.
Yes.
You can't deny that. And I know that it's wrong, but I'm still laughing just a tiny bit
That's fine.
because the word looks funny, and then I'm like, be serious, that's a human being who is deaf, and it's not fun, it's no laughing matter. But the word is there, and it's Very serious things in other languages can sometimes look funny if your brain is uneducated like mine is.
I think Germanic language is it's just a curse.
Yeah. I mean, on the other hand, again, I grew up with like Danish and everything, where fart means speed. Sorry. Fart. So you'll just go around and be like, "Ha," says fart.
Hope I didn't think it would autoplay. Well,
Oops. Oh well,
that's
it did.
fine.
That's fine.
Yeah,
Whatever,
farts.
we'll
It's
deal
like,
with it.
yeah.
Fart. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And then there's like slut. Always.
Slowed.
Slut.
Because that's the thing. Any. This is also the thing. So Dutch, right? Our word for canal is slowed.
Yeah.
But it's written to any English speaker because it's SLOOT as sloot.
Yeah. And I might be wrong. It might be that I've also been exposed to other Scandinavian languages at the same time, but I believe the Danish word for end is also slut.
Yeah, that's thankfully in Dutch that's eind.
Yeah. Yeah, which I'm glad of because
Yeah.
again, I know what it means, but it makes me still laugh. Apparently also, what is it? Bae, I think means poop in Danish.
Oh.
BAE.
Yes. Oh my god, there was a whole thing
There was a whole
years
thing.
ago.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Like, I mean, it must be coming up to 10 years ago now.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, all the Danes on the internet being like, when Bay was really like a thing that was super big and like just upcoming in popularity.
Yeah.
And everyone was calling everybody else Bay, and everyone was like, that just means poop.
Yeah.
And there's always going to be something like that in another language, always. But
Yeah.
sometimes you just be like, I don't know.
Also the lul.
Oh yeah.
Like when people back in our old cringe millennial days, like when lol was often written as LUL.
Yep.
Like as a
Lol.
Dutch person, people were just writing dick 24/7. So and then people are like, oh my god, I didn't realize this is what it means in Dutch. Teehee. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Grow up.
No, never.
I know. I
But
think
also,
it's funny too. Well,
yeah, like it's funny to laugh at it the first 3 times, but then then you have to remember that people are still discovering it, and
yeah, I think the Dutch thing is like the entire language is taking the piss out of. I'm like, okay,
yeah.
I'm kind of done
Like,
with
hi,
you now.
but have you met English? Actually,
But like always, America's like, oh my god, Dutch funny meme language, haha, and then they see Dutch and I think it's German. I'm like, okay, you can't
Yeah.
even tell the two apart. Go away.
it's also the
Back
number
your
of
lane.
times they're using Dutch. I mean, or they're laughing about Dutch, but they're actually quoting or using Afrikaans,
Oh my god, yes.
and it's like, okay, that's not really Dutch anymore, though.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's so many levels of offensive as well.
The Germanic root words are still funny often,
They're so good.
but then so are Scandinavian root words.
Yeah, they're good.
Sometimes French.
I
root
love
words are fun
languages.
too. Languages
That's the
are
thing.
fun.
I love
Playing
it
with
that they're silly.
languages and poking fun at languages is fun.
Yeah.
But not to excess.
Yeah. And also, like, if you're living in the Netherlands, like this person is, for example, and you're mocking the language like that, that's a surefire way to absolutely get yourself ostracized in the Netherlands.
Oh god, yes.
Because we're all like, yeah, no, it's okay, it's cool, I appreciate that you're learning the language. And then you do this.
Yeah.
And it's like, we think you should go back to where you're from.
I can believe.
Because we really don't expect people to learn Dutch.
But also,
But you do this, and it's like, okay, no, go away.
However, I raise for your consideration, pagina.
Vagina is such a good word, though.
Pagina.
Yeah.
But you can't write it down in front of me. Put it there
I
and
think
be
it's
like,
from French.
yeah, probably.
Like, page.
Pagina. Yeah, probably. Pagina. Bestie
Sorry
and
to
German
get, like,
bestie.
distracted.
Bestie? Bestie? Or is it just best? Is it pronounced bestie, or is it like bestie? It's been a long time since. It's been a long time since I did German, And all I really remember from German, I've said this before, like my German teacher was horrid. She was really, really scary and I hated her. And I've said before that my most traumatizing experience in German was forgetting the word for potato, which is the same as the word in Danish. Like, Kartoffel is the same in Danish. I have grown up eating Kartoffelsalat. I know what potato is. But I couldn't remember it at all. But all I remember from my German classes, apart from the Kartoffel incident, was her just always yelling, "Zusammen, zusammen, zusammen!" And I had no idea what it meant. So I just didn't know. I don't know why I never looked it up in the dictionary, because I had a German dictionary. Still have it somewhere. But I was like, I don't know what you're asking me to do or when or what. I don't know what that word means, but for some reason it's a really triggering word for me now.
Yeah.
Zusammen!
Speaking of German, for some ungodly reason, like a lot of English speakers, think that kino is such a hilarious word. I'm like...
Kino?
Yeah.
Well, like cinema.
Yes.
Why?
I know, right?
K-I-N-O.
Yeah. Yeah. I just, personally, I'm a great fan of all the capital letters that German
we
uses.
had this conversation, didn't we? I remember now, the Kartoffel Erdapfel conversation. I'd forgotten. But yeah, Kartoffel.
German is not hard and mean sounding at all. Certainly not if you put Dutch next to it. That's the funniest thing. Dutch sounds fucking mean.
Yeah,
like,
it's true.
Meme language. Yeah. Do you want to hear it pronounced properly? It doesn't sound very mean anymore. It sounds like we're choking.
I mean, I will always do the comedy German accent whenever I have to do anything German, because I'm horrid.
Yeah.
And also Danish. And sorry, but that's just how we do.
Yeah.
I don't even want to talk about our language. Like you, just listening to like Danish stuff and going like, it's like Dutch, but drunk.
Yeah, the Danes and the Dutch have like this thing. We hate each other, but it's like friend hate. We have just agreed that the other language is silly and sounds like a drunk version of our own language.
Yeah.
But we did this in, like, back in the day, there was an affectionate way of mocking each other's languages. Like, I just feel bad for Germans who've had to suffer with a lot of Dutch people coming over to your country, and we don't actually learn proper German. Instead, what we do is we speak Dutch with a German accent. And I wish I was joking, but it was genuinely the way people would just do it, and then hope that the Germans understood them. And I'm like, you went to the Black Forest, and you expected people to just fucking understand what you were saying. Don't be such a fucking C-word.
I mean, again, I can't really comment, because, I mean, the Brits really do have...
Yeah.
I mean, we have that reputation for going to other countries and just saying everything very slowly and clearly. Like, yeah, that's going to help you. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
And every single time, yeah, no, exactly. It does work, yeah, mostly. Instead, like what people should be talking about is the ridiculous snacks we have in the Netherlands and the words we use for that. Like,
we have a candy called spunk in Denmark.
Yes.
It's.
I remember one of my colleagues bringing it back.
Yeah, all the Brits think it's really funny.
Yeah. It's okay, nobody actually wanted the candy.
It's tasty.
So we ate all the candy.
It's so good. I love it. Yeah. I'm like, yes, haha, funny name. Give me the candy.
Yeah, gosh. Wait, I
what
forgot the other thing.
Did we forget? What did I forget?
I forget.
Apart
Suspension.
From the blatant racism and offensive-ness. But, and the colonization, of course.
I mean, we can all shake hands on that. Although Germany wasn't as bad as the other two.
I'm going to say very gently that Germany did at one point try to, but it wasn't necessarily their fault. And we've forgiven them mostly, yes.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah. The Brits and Americans don't just speak slowly, they'll yell it at the person. Yes, it's true. No, I would have yelled it, but I noticed that I was already maxing out the mic, so I decided to go easy on you guys.
Also, I'm really curious, like, from a German, what hilarious stereotypes you got about Dutch, because of course I know all the horrible stereotypes that we have of the Germans.
That's a good point.
But like, I just know that when it comes
Did they
to
have?
skiing.
They did have an empire, didn't they? There was the whole Prussian thing, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it
I'd
wasn't okay.
forgotten about
They had an empire, but I never felt it was quite like we're going to take our little boats.
And then I suppose the Dutch and the English do have a history of
That's what
taking
I
their
meant.
little boats and going to countries and removing the natives of those countries and using them as commodities. But I don't know much about other countries doing that, I'll admit.
Spain.
I'm quite ignorant. Yes, Spain does have also...
France.
Does France?
Yeah.
Where did oh yeah,
The
France.
Caribbean has, like,
yeah,
a lot of,
yeah.
I mostly know this because the Dutch got some like, yeah, but we're also here, and the French were like, yeah, but we're here, and the natives were like, that's cool, we're actually most of all here.
we were here first, yeah.
And then we split the
And
one
then
of the islands.
though, you
Yeah.
guys were like, well, you're not here anymore, are you? Get on the boats!
Oh, God. This is very serious. I'll
Germany
laugh
was
about-
the seat of the Holy Roman Empire. Oh yeah.
Oh,
That guy.
yeah, that was a thing.
I forget sometimes about the Holy Roman Empire.
See, I have this thing where I don't actually remember much about Roman history, because I'm a fraud.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot. I,
See, I'm more of a like a. I've always been more interested in like the Mayan type and like also pyramids and shit. So I'm really, my history falls down massively
well, if we're
on like
Sure.
recent stuff.
well, Europe was very much we kept murdering each other and like I always want to call it lunch pick, which of course sounds
Lunch.
it's very much land, and pick is to steal something.
Oh right, just land wars.
Yeah, but lunch pick is very much the diminutive word, of course, lunch, etc. So it just sounds really
skirmishes.
cute. Yeah. It's just anyway,
Territory
yeah.
skirmishes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So-
Lunch pick is funny though.
Yeah,
But I
no,
thought you said lunch pick.
Oh,
And
no,
I was
not
like, what is that
lunch
like
pick.
beating
No,
somebody
lunch
up
pick.
for their lunch money?
But yeah,
or what?
we kept stealing each other's and then murdering each other and
The only
enslaving
thing
each
you
other.
can think of is that Dutch sounds like German but wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, most to be fair. I think pretty much every single country that's actually become any kind of country has a history of it.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Yeah.
On the whole. At some point.
And then we
even
don't
in
talk about
ancient
it.
history.
Mm-hmm.
But see, this is the thing for me. It's ancient history is where my passion is. Like ancient history.
Yeah.
Where the people have been kind of erased and it's mostly just neat architecture and jungles and sand. Because that's just how I go. You have no idea how excited I was when cenotes were a thing. Like, oh my god, I love cenotes. Anyway. Banger of a theme tune.
Sorry for
too.
derailing
So
the
excited. Anyway, we derailed this quite massively too.
Yeah, well, we're in
We should
recess,
get
and this
back
is
to it.
clearly the conversation we're having during
Yeah,
recess.
you're
Like,
right.
we're on our lunch break.
Yeah.
We're like, so I saw this tweet earlier, and I needed to know your opinion because it was eating at me.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't figure out what was funny at the end.
If we're on lunch break, where's my hacking sandwich?
Excuse me.
Well, where's my
Make your
sandwich?
own.
If we're on. What is sandwich? Okay.
No sandwich for you.
No sandwich for me.
Alright, here we go.
Fine.
I'm so sorry, Susato. I should have told you about the toxin.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
I mean, right.
You have a strong sense of responsibility, I know. That's why I decided to shoulder the burden alone. No, that's not it at all. I was scared of my failure coming to light, that's all. So I hope to retrieve the substance from the Englishwoman before anyone found out. Before the trial started, do you remember what you said, Susato? We should not be dropping her fucking name!
No, I know, right? Right in front of these guys, right
Yeah.
here.
One of them could be Sholmes.
Yeah, one could be Sholmes waiting for us to notice him. Yeah! That skinny one on the far side there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks distinctly Sholmesian. I don't trust him anymore.
No, you're right. Though you had no doubt in your mind about my innocence, that he'd stand by me to the last.
I remember.
And yet I didn't deserve your trust in me.
They never do.
I hid important details from you, Susato. I completely betrayed your faith in me.
Always do.
Hit me, Susato! I deserve it! No, in fact, throw me to the floor! No, that's too good for me as well. Drag me through the city streets!
I'm no better, you know.
You can't just Susato throw you, my girl.
No.
You
She's
can
a man and you're a woman, and that's not okay
No. Oh,
right now. Even though in my heart I knew that you'd pulled the knife blade from Miss Brett's back.
we gotta have trust issues now.
And there was just a brief moment when, in my mind, I doubted you.
Susato?
I'm sorry. After I stood here and promised you that I'd stand by you and always be on your side.
Like, we don't need to voice these worries. Like, you know, that.
Right? I betrayed your faith in me too. And as such, I failed you as a lawyer. Okay, no. But, okay.
Oh, no. I think the situation has taught both of you a valuable lesson. Placing your unbridled faith in another is no easy task.
Yes,
Yeah, it was just a thought. Sorry, I didn't mean
Yeah,
to
right?
talk
That was just a thought. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly,
Like,
yeah.
sometimes you do just go like, okay, no, she was, right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that's fine. What matters is what you do afterwards. That's what counts. You can
Yeah.
think whatever you like. But, yeah, exactly. You often just think things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's as a human being. I mean, they always say that, don't you? Like, that the first thing that you think is the result of your upbringing and the way you were taught to think.
Yeah.
And the second thought is the way you've learned to
Exactly.
think.
Yeah.
Like, your,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you know, what you
Mhm.
actually think,
Yeah.
rather than what you were conditioned to think.
Mm-hmm.
That's just being human.
Yeah.
But still, sometimes talking about it is good. Just being like, hey, yeah, you know what? I did doubt you for just a split second, but I trust you. So, it's fine to say these things too.
Yeah.
Yes, Father, that fact has certainly struck home. Which is why I can see more clearly now. So, Ray,
Yes?
can you find it in your heart to forgive me? Like when you are told something you did as bad, your reaction-wise would be to doubt yourself even if you did good. Yeah, it's true.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Susato. You know you'll always be a gallant, dashing lawyer in my eyes now.
Gay, 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 gay.
This is so gay.
Ray.
Yeah.
Fanfic, fanfic. Clearly her descendants go on to be dashing legal assistants.
Yes, you're right. I was so scared, you know, when it happened. I didn't know what was going on. The Englishwoman was sitting at the back of the hut, listening to what I was saying. I knew it was you who stole the poison.
Well now, whatever do you mean?
And then, a moment later, she suddenly got to her feet. Yes, we could have discussed this before. Before collapsing on the floor in front of me, with a knife in her back. Yeah.
And they killed her swan too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
no
all
one can
happened
flirt
right-
normally in these games. No.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Sorry.
It all happened right before my eyes.
And you were the only people in the hut at the time.
That's right. Just Miss Brett and myself. There was no one else. So, I just don't understand how she could possibly have been stabbed like that.
I'm not Arrow Ace, and I have no idea when I'm being flirted with either. And if I did realise if I was being flirted with, it would probably terrify me and it'd
Too
make some kind of
autistic to
ungodly
realise.
pterodactyl screech. I just don't get, it confuses me.
No.
The kind of thing that you wake up like 3 days later in the middle of the night going,
Wait a second.
hang on just a minute.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not that anybody really ever flirts with me, so I'm safe. Teehee.
A great mystery indeed. I still can't believe it happened. That's why I just couldn't bring myself to speak up.
It will be all right. However it happened, and whatever really went on by the sea that day, I promise you that I'm going to prove everything you've said you saw is true.
Spoken like a true Mikatoba. Now, I think we should discuss what's coming up in the trial, don't you? We don't have much time. We must make sure we have our facts in order. Yeah, let's discuss languages some more. I know we're in a hurry and all, but...
Yeah, right.
Yes, I expect the poison is going to come under close scrutiny in the upcoming proceedings. The police should hopefully have identified it on the blade by now.
The trouble is, it's a completely new laboratory synthesized blend of alkaloids. So it's alkaloids, right?
Alkaloids,
The police won't have any way of testing for it.
Oh, I see.
But that's why we're working together with, like, the university, right? Like,
Theoretically, yeah. The university from which the accused is a student and a research assistant. Not
yes,
really.
Without the chemical reagent, it's impossible to detect the toxin.
Chemical reagent?
I sent a colleague of mine off with some earlier to deliver to police headquarters. I think perhaps you should have some as well, though, just in case.
Chemical reagent has been entered into the court record. A special indicator solution for a new poison under development by my father's team. It's been created in strict secrecy and exists only in my father's laboratory, and now here too.
Yeah.
So we're going to be dropping that on literally everything we can find, right? I assume?
Yeah. What's the matter, Susato? You're suddenly very quiet.
It's this newspaper article. Exclusive, a deadly poison stolen from Yume Medical Research Laboratory. I'm wondering how the information got out, given that it was a government secret.
I'd just like to point
Well,
out...
gee, we literally know that the photographer who took the photograph of the other thing also took the photograph there, and he was literally present. How is this a mystery?
Yeah, and also, like, I'm delighted that, like, Ray can work on this as well, but she's 16.
Okay.
It's like quite a lot of like when it comes to secret stuff as well. I'm surprised at it.
Responsibility?
Like, yeah, I
mean,
find it
or
horrible
you
that, like,
can suspend your disbelief.
Yeah,
given
yeah,
that
yeah.
Iris is 10.
oh yeah, never mind.
And has a doctorate.
Yes, I mean, I assume she's 16 because she's Susato's friend.
Yeah.
It was all the English woman's doing.
Susato's almost a year older now, though.
Oh yeah, she's
So-
probably about 17 now.
But still.
It was when the professor and Sasaki-san were being interviewed at the laboratory. The so-called English lady swarmed in and without any compunction said to the Professor Mikotoba,
Oh, Professor, surely your guest would love to hear about your work on that substance there.
I know she's English, and I don't care. I don't give a toot.
she's now Southern Belle.
She's putting it on. She thinks it makes her sound more dignified.
Perish this. No, it put me in a very awkward position, to be frank. But Sasaki-san's curiosity had been piqued. Thank you. You're forgetting that's how it's spelled.
Yeah.
So I had little choice but to give him a cursory introduction.
Yeah, because most people write it as peaked, as in mountain peaks.
What, seriously?
Yeah.
I would be like,
I find it makes me quite peaked.
I don't like it when my interest gets a boner, so I will read
Yeah.
when they write it like that.
Yeah,
because-
same. Honestly, same.
Yeah, sure.
So then, Sasaki-san knew about the poison.
Yes, and it's highly likely that the reporter who was writing up the story about us would have caught a glimpse of the toxin too. Yeah, Sholmes is fucking ancient in this game.
Yeah. Sholmes is like a decrepit old so-and-so.
This many memo-san.
It's many memos.
Yeah. It's written many memo.
Yeah.
By the way, did that reporter join you all when you went to the beach?
Oh, no, I don't remember those reporters being there. I mean, the reporter being there, but you know, no, that's
Sholmes
not
looks so
like...
old, but I think he said he was like 25. Yeah, but people disintegrate into dust
Yeah, exactly.
when they get
like,
above the age of 19, as Ganondorf says. So yeah, he's aged.
yeah, like,
An aged old hag,
Yeah.
crone.
yeah, man.
Once he gets a fold in the skin, it's all yeah.
Oh my god, the man is 34!
Oh my god, 34? Yeah, he might as well be dead.
Like, good lord! Sorry.
Death.
Indeed, he would have been. I very much doubt anyone would have wanted him there.
Oh?
A known criminal had been given permission by the authorities to bathe by the seaside. Soseki-san pointed out that inviting a reporter might be problematic, so the man was sent back to his office.
Well, he clearly didn't go. Oh, yet he obviously didn't go back. He secretly followed the party to the beach and took this very candid photograph. Garrett was like 46. I think so, yeah, actually. Yeah. And then presumably he posted it anonymously to the police. Sorry, I licked a candy that I got out of a box and then it dropped on my desk, so that was what that was about.
Yes, that must be what happened.
Counsel! We've just heard that the new witness is now ready to testify. The trial is about to resume. Please proceed into the courtroom at once! That man, on the other hand, comes from the deep south. Did you know?
It's time to steal ourselves once again, then.
I was in wars, so it probably aged him more. That's true.
Yeah.
True.
Quite right, El Chap. So kind of you to point it out.
Defense attorney Ryutaro Naruhodo.
Yes!
I feel thanks to you, I can't do Naruhodo any other way anymore. Fucking
Naruhodo!
Fucking Shomes rubbed off on me.
Sorry. Shomes did eventually learn how to pronounce it a little bit better. I hope you noticed that there was character development in my reading of him. Ray has put her faith in me now and told me everything. So I can't let her down. I have to prove that what she's telling the court is true. I have to I have to prove what really happened that day.
Yeah, Pop managed to store it on in a moustache. I think that's how he did it. Sadly, his moustache could not save him.
No, his moustache wasn't powerful enough to stop bullets.
He did have a moustache, right? Like her.
He did.
Yeah.
Maybe his heart just failed unrelated to the gunshot. Goodness, that's a good point.
I hereby call this court to order as we reconvene to continue the trial of Ray Membami. Prosecutor Ouchi, have you summoned the new witness? Like, I like how quickly they can find these people.
Yeah,
like,
right?
imagine
Well,
if
to be fair, he
randomly-
was already in the courtroom.
I mean, yeah, but imagine if he wasn't.
Yeah.
Before I address that question, Your Excellency, I have some very important news to share.
What news? And why does he look so happy about it?
During the recess, with the collaboration of Professor Migatoba's laboratory at Yuma University, the police re-examined the knife that was used to end Miss Jose Brett's life.
Excellent. I admire rapid handling of the matter.
Oh, too kind, Your Excellency, too kind. I was merely carrying out your instructions, of course.
I had the reagent delivered to the police headquarters by rickshaw, so it would be there in good time.
But judging by the man's swag...
Ooh, that's you. Sorry.
Oh yeah, but judging by the man's swagger, I fear we might need to embrace ourselves for the inevitable.
And, counsel, what were the results?
This dagger, which was so cruelly used to end the life of the victim, has no trace of poison anywhere along its blade.
Wait, what? Are you sure about that? Makes me wonder if she accidentally stabbed herself on the fountain pen, though.
Yep,
I would stake the reputation of the police on it.
that is...
So we have some of the reagent that you can use to detect the poison, right? And we have
Yeah.
the fountain pen, and we can take the lid off the fountain pen, so let's do it!
So we should better be careful with that fucking fountain
I mean, yeah,
pen.
right?
Armed with the reagent, the test is extremely simple.
Just shoot it with a gun!
Yeah, they couldn't have made a mistake. The murder weapon has been entered into court record. Yeah.
Also, no trace of poison was found on the blade.
In short, the accused's feeble excuse earlier has been utterly destroyed.
Yep. That's a bottle.
That's a bottle with a popper. A popper? A dropper. A pipette. A stopper. A dropper on the stopper. A dropper stopper.
The label appears to be written in a foreign language that I don't know.
It's German! Woohoo! Full circle! I knew it. So your knowledge of English isn't going to be of it's going to be of little help here, I'm afraid.
Couldn't you just have written medicine on it in Japanese? Then we'd all be able to read it.
German is the international language of medicine, my dear.
Is it?
But yes, I can certainly see the merit in labelling the bottle in Japanese. Though I'm not sure medicine would be entirely appropriate.
Why do I feel like Susato's got a little bit stupider?
Yeah. I can't read his fucking handwriting. I am trying to figure out what the ever-living shit this is supposed to say.
Dremef.
Is it upside down?
Dremef?
Oh,
That's definitely not it.
no.
Racef.
Racef. What is this? Like, what even?
Aranef.
Yeah, I would have thought
You
it
need
was
to
an
read
F.
that last character. For me, it feels like an F, but
Yeah, to me,
it
it
could
reads
be
like
an
an F
S,
as well.
or it could be a flourish.
Back in the cursive.
If that's old
I
German,
would
it's an S at the end. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a good point. Or it could be absolute gibberish. Of course.
Yeah. Well,
They haven't told us what it says after all.
no.
The old German is written similar to an F. Oh yeah, Old
Yeah.
English too, actually.
Yeah, forgot.
The S would be written like an F,
Yeah.
which is why it's. I guess we stole that from German, probably.
Yeah. Well.
Well, yeah. First off, let's examine this bad boy here. Is it a flip knife, or are those just studs that
Those are
you
just
use
studs.
to hold
It's
the
just
dookie
a
in?
basic bitch knife.
Is it?
Ah, yes. This must be the victim's blood.
Oh dear, blood is never a pretty sight, is it?
How the fuck is it still this red? Like,
It's,
again!
it's better than the omnibus blood.
I mean, yeah, but Eggert was bleeding orange.
Yeah, that's true.
And then this old blood is like, yes, it's like fresh from a wound. And I'm like,
Yeah, well. I'm having to fight the urge to run it under a hot tap and get it clean.
you've always been fastidious. Yeah, fastidious. Yeah, about cleanliness, haven't you?
I think this is something else, Father.
I like how her image here
Yeah.
is very completely different
I
to
know.
her 3D
I was
model.
just thinking that she looks a lot more manly in the
Reagents, maybe since it's a reagent.
Oh,
That would make actually, yeah. That
but-
like I don't despise that as an idea.
But yeah. Well, that's it. That's all we can
Reagents?
do right now.
Is that how you say it? Like reagents? Can we examine the fountain pen again? Probably not.
Plop.
Nothing appears obviously out of the ordinary here, does it?
Can I just open it up? Like, oh, I think when I do this.
If we take off the pen's lid.
Ba-da-da-da. I don't think. I think I'm gonna have to wait for the game to be like, oh my god!
Yeah, probably. How irritating. I want it so badly, and that's unscrewed the barrel. The fact that we can also unscrew the barrel and see that there's like a little bit of stuff in it.
Yeah, see, we can't do anything.
Reagents.
Yeah, I can.
Okay, yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, thank you.
Has been utterly destroyed. Now, the prosecution is ready to call the new witness.
Ah, the newspaper reporter who managed to capture a photograph of the crucial moment. Good. Very well, officer. Bring in the witness.
No trace of poison on the knife. But if that's really the case, how could the toxin have entered the victim's body? I think it was an accident, but I also think that she was stabbed.
Yeah, she might have lived from the stabbing.
Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court.
Written many memo of the Shoyu News. I'm what people like to call a journo.
Oh, look.
Oh, look.
He has the symbol.
It's the pen of
fountain
the
pen
university.
symbol.
I mean, a newspaper even.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Cool.
Also, it's his initials.
Oh yeah, RM.
It's literally his initials.
You're right.
Just realised.
Yeah.
It's his pen.
Yeah. Potentially, they stole it together. The poison.
Yeah.
Because I reckon,
Because
I
he
still
got the
reckon
story.
that being somebody who has one of the fountain pens,
Yeah.
which you put the cartridge in and you like twist up
Yeah.
the plunger
Yeah.
to draw ink through the nib. You could put any liquid you wanted in there, provided you weren't planning on writing with the fountain pen afterwards. You
Yeah.
could store whiskey in there if you really wanted. So they probably together. I don't know if it was intentional, but he was very clearly spying on them.
Yeah, exactly that. Well.
What's a journo, Father? Do you know?
It's simply a contraction of journalist.
I'm there where the news breaks, putting pen to paper to catch those scoops so they're in print the next morning.
Yeah, they look at him flexing it in case
Yeah,
you like,
right. Just in case you'd missed it. Okay, that would have hurt the nipples. No wonder his camera lens is cracked. Woo! Whew! My little cobalt titties are sore now just thinking about that. Woo!
he got padding.
Did you just call me fat?
He said he got
Oh, he
padding.
got padding. Oh, yeah, his camera.
Right? God, what do you take me for?
Now don't call me the hero of the Herald for nothing. The nice guy of news.
You know, just started saying no wonder his camera's cracked. Yeah, right.
Oh, so, it was you who took this photograph, was it?
Well, well, what have we here?
I'm sorry.
Ooh, brace yourselves, people. Many memo senses that scoop in the offing. Female student up to foul play, defended by curiously handsome young lawyer in Supreme Court. The readers will lap this up. We'll set it above the fold at 72 point in 72 point in a 5-leg format for the morning edition. I'm gonna have to read his lines slower because I keep tripping over them, but I would like to keep that pace up.
Yeah.
Huh?
Beautiful frame this.
Right then, let's start with your name.
Oh,
It's Rita Naruhodo. Next, what made you want to become a lawyer? Sweet.
I wanted to reform our country's legal system, I suppose.
Ryotaro has suddenly become very ambitious, I see.
I just borrowed Kazuma-sama's dream for a while.
By the way, my name is Takatsuchi Auchi. That's Taketsuchi Auchi. The so-called Dark Horse of the Supreme Court. My objections strike fear into every defense lawyer's heart.
Yeah, stop telling him stuff. It's just... No, the readers won't buy that.
What?
Witness!
Yes?
Yes?
What this court demands to know is whether or not you are responsible for taking of this picture. The taking of this picture. Picture you. Did you take it? It was delivered anonymously to the Imperial Police Bureau only yesterday.
Snappy shot. You? Yeah, I wouldn't be a journo if I didn't click quick when I presented with a scoop like that now, would I? Sometimes stories call out to me. Sometimes I have to chase them down, but either way, you gotta be fast. Fast legs to run with, and a fast hand to write with. It's no good if you don't note it down, I always say. That's what I call my many-memoism. Many-memoism?
Many memoism sounds like something that Nietzsche would introduce.
It does sound like something that Hobonichi would introduce.
Oh yes, I remember your face. We met that day when you were interviewing myself and Soseki-san.
Yes, right. That was me. Many memo again.
But you were supposed to be going back to the Shoyu news offices after a meeting.
But the scoop is, I didn't. Because that woman's words had piqued my journalistic interest. Miss Brett's words. A criminal left to do as she pleases just because she happens to be a British citizen.
No, you're British. Yeah.
Or in sinks. I think it's to the art team picking the best characters to flourish with. It could well be. I think. Yeah, I genuinely do think that what Gandul said with like reagents.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what they were going with, but they just kind of flourished it a little too deeply and too greedily.
Yeah. Well, don't worry, it's just a pencil.
It's just a pencil.
Does mean that
thankfully,
his notes are gonna look all like
really
grubby.
weird and grubby. Yeah. Oh, okay. Cool. It's all stung. This country's judiciary is rotten to the core. The Supreme Court's rulings aren't worth the paper they're written on. The police are just imperial pawns. They didn't close the G, which is what was throwing you until you looked again. Yeah, I think you're right.
Stay your tongue, young man. There are complex political issues at play.
Well, anyway, I quickly jotted down these words she said in my memo pad. Are you ready? I'll read it out. It's all here. Right, here goes. I should like to go with everyone to see your country's coast. A serious criminal going on some junket. The people need to know about this. That's why I decided to sneak after him. So he likes to take some justice, maybe, in his own hands.
Yeah, sounds
maybe.
like it.
But Idika, to get that woman's story so I could hammer her in the press.
Do you mean to say that you did indeed witness it firsthand? The grim scene portrayed in this photograph.
Oh yes, I saw it with my very own journo eyes. From start to finish, through the viewfinder of my trusty camera.
Thank you, Mini Memo-san. You will now give a formal testimony before the court. You will state exactly what it is that you witnessed on the events surrounding Miss Brett's death.
And thank you for your deciphering efforts, Dio.
Yeah,
we really
legit.
appreciate it. The camera never lies. This beach art was made of shoddy old reed screen, so there were plenty of gaps I could see inside through. The English woman was sitting on a stool when the student girl came in and started arguing with her. Seconds later, the girl pulled out a knife, throwing the English woman to the floor as she stabbed her in the back. My smouldering journo spirit burst into flames. Quick as a flash, I whipped out my camera, ready to click. I pulled apart the rough weave of one of the screens and poked the lens through for the perfect shot. There are some holes in that, just like the screens. Reed screens, you say? Right, you can see them clearly enough in that great shot I snapped. The out walls were just screens, made of coarsely woven reeds.
Yes, it allows the breeze to pass through and bring some relief from the summer heat.
And it was a breeze for me to poke my camera through and see the whole thing hotting up. Ignoring for the time being the appalling invasion of privacy involved, did you witness everything that happened from the moment the defendant entered the hut? Oh yes, I saw it. I saw the whole thing from start to finish. You say that you took the photograph through a gap in one of the screens? Luckily for me, they were pretty shoddily woven. I pulled the reeds apart and thrust the lens of my camera through the gap. Would I get away with it, or would I be seen? It was a gamble of a lifetime.
A tenacity of purpose that's considered admirable in a journalist, I suppose.
Run a risk one day, run a scoop the next. That's many memoism in a nutshell.
At last. It would appear we have a genuine witness to this wicked crime. The evidence and testimony are extremely compelling. I believe we may be close to a verdict.
No.
Wonderful news, Your Excellency, wonderful!
Nevertheless, it cannot be denied that this testimony begs one very large question.
What question?
Exclusive news, a startling photograph, all the makings of an exceptional story for the reporter. Why then was the story never published?
Oh, that's right.
It seems clear to me that there are circumstances at play here that are yet to be understood.
More pathetic excuses?
Very well then, counsel. Proceed with your cross-examination.
Yes, Your Excellency. There's more to this reporter than meets the eye. He's keeping something about this case very close to his chest. I wish he wouldn't do that.
The camera never lies.
The beach hut was made of shoddy old reed screen, so there were plenty of gaps I could see inside through.
Hold it!
What made you want to see what was happening inside the beach hut in the first place? I'll call it journo instinct. Can you think of a better reason? Oh, I don't know. Perhaps because as well as being a proven criminal, the person inside was a young woman. Ah, see where you're going with this. Brace yourselves, people. He's painting the journo as a voyeur. It's hardly slander, sir. You had a camera and you were taking pictures without the woman's knowledge. No, you got it all wrong, little student boy. Sorry? To my mind, all that was inside that hut was a scoop. Nothing more, nothing less. Scoops know no gender, man or woman. It's all news. That's not even many memoism, it's a basic journalism. If only the courtroom was as indiscriminate. Right, so if that's all buttoned up, can we move on?
Tell the court then, witness, what sight befell your eyes when you looked inside the hut?
A sight that vindicated my journo instinct, that's what. When I pulled back the reeds, I could see it all as clear as day. The Englishwoman was sitting on a stool when the student girl came in and started arguing with her. So you actually saw Mbami-san entering the hut? Yup, and she was raging like my journo spirit.
Put it back.
The argument you mentioned, what was that about exactly? Or you stole it. I didn't steal it. That kind of thing. Talking about the poison, I suppose. The student girl walked right up to the Englishwoman and really started laying into her. I mean, if she'd laid into her any more, there would have been eggs. I'm not going to kink shame.
The man should have been an author. His descriptive talents are wasted on journalism.
Well, the student's rantings fell on deaf ears, like a Japanese person listening to English for the first time. He really had to work on his similes first, though, to be honest. Anyway, the point is, that woman in the dock was mighty angry.
And her temper finally got the better of her, it seems. Dear me.
Which was the climactic moment that I caught on film. Seconds later, the girl pulled out a knife, throwing the Englishwoman to the floor as she stabbed her in the back. I
smouldering journo spirit burst into flames. Just skipped a jobby,
Yeah.
didn't ya? Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, you did.
Distracted by dog.
Distracted by dog wanting uppies. Do you want me to lift her up for you?
No, I don't want her on my
You
lap.
don't want her on your lap.
She said cuddles earlier.
Well, if you've been
You can take her if
rejected.
you want.
Okay, I will. You want a couple cuddle poof? Or do you want other one?
This happens a
You
lot.
want me? Or you want her? I will do also. Okay.
This dog can be real cruel. She just picks one person she wants to be picked up by.
You've been drinking. Oh, your face is so wet. Oh no, that was disgusting. Thank you very much. Yeah, no, please don't sniff me. Yeah, thank you. You're a good girl. Yes, you are. Oh, you're disgusting. Yeah, you are. You're so disgusting. Your face is
This dog
so
doesn't know how to
drippy.
drink, by the way. I
She
know
just
we've
kind of
mentioned it
submerges
before.
her entire lower jaw in the
Yeah.
water and kind of prays.
Yeah, and she's been like this since she was a
With a
puppy.
puppy.
There's nothing wrong, she just doesn't understand how to effectively drink.
Yeah.
But you know, it's pretty cute, but also oh
Pretty
my
cute,
God.
but does make for moist surprise
Mm.
when she decides to come up and be affectionate by
Mhm.
rubbing her chin all over your cheek, which is what just happened there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're so good.
Do you swear before the court that you actually saw the precise moment when the stabbing took place?
Ha! The precise moment? I didn't see just that. I saw the whole hellish scene play out from start to finish.
I have here a simple plan of the beach hut. Perhaps you could use it to explain to the court exactly what you witnessed.
Yeah, please mark where you were sitting, you fucking bastard.
Yeah, please, you perv. Right you are. It's all here in my mini memo pad.
Don't look at me like that. I've got to do the voices. I've got to do the voices. Yeah, it's your fault if you put your face right in front of my mouth and you get shouted at. It is. It's your fault. Sorry.
When I first peered into the hut,
She keeps giving me the side eye, like, why are you shouting at my face, Buzz? Why are you shouting at me? I was doing this before you came up, you know. Yes, I was. Yes, I was. I was. Okay.
I'm sure that the English woman was on this stool at the back of the hut here.
Yes, the accused's own testimony confirmed that.
She just sat at the back of the hut, smiling sweetly, is what I have noted down.
It's my turn to testify now. Try not to interrupt. Then, the next moment, as I was watching, the evil student girl entered the hut. After a while, the pair of them ended up in the middle of the hut, arguing furiously. The English woman went for the student, but the girl dodged out of the way. And in a flash, plunged the knife into her adversary's back as the two passed each other.
What do you describe as a grim crime indeed?
Never sugarcoat the truth. That's what many memoism says.
The beach hut plan has been entered into the court record.
A plan of the layout of the small beach hut where the victim was found.
Yeah, it feels like it's going to be potentially quite a long case. On the other hand, it's the first one of the game. So technically it shouldn't be too long.
It's not going to be a final case long, but it was pretty long the first
Oh,
time
okay. Fair then.
Anyway, Mini Memo sound. Whilst you were watching that terrible scene unfold before your eyes through a gap in the screen, and did it not occur to you to try to prevent the tragedy rather than capture it on film?
Journos have to be observers. We can't get involved. That's our raison d'etre.
So you didn't converse with Miss Brett at all?
Obviously not. An observer always remains on the outside looking in.
And that's something to be proud of, is it?
Your Excellency, if I may. Yes, Professor? I I think the witness's last expertly phrased statement should perhaps be added to his formal testimony.
Father, what are you...
I will grant the defense's request. Memo-san, you will supplement your formal testimony with the aforementioned statement.
Well, nihilism is the foundation of many memoism, but I'll gladly prove that my words aren't meaningless. I never once set foot in the hut, nor spoke with the Englishwoman. I was only there as an observer.
Hold it!
Really? You didn't set foot inside the hut at all? Are you quite sure about that?
I think you may have the wrong impression of me. We're talking about a murder scene here. My nerves were stretched to breaking point already.
Oh, I see. You were scared. Maybe I did have the wrong impression of you, yes.
It was all I could do to stifle a scream and hold my hands steady enough to snap the shot.
You really should have summoned help before thinking of your camera. I don't know.
Many memoism and humanism don't always agree. And most of the time in those instances, many memoism comes out on top. As a sculptor of stories, sometimes I have to be cruel for my art. Yes, that's spot on!
Surely he's making all this up.
He claims to have spied the whole affair from start to finish. If true, his testimony is devastating.
But it does seem as though he's holding something back, doesn't it?
If that is how you feel, I suggest that you trust your instincts and press him on everything he said. You've no doubt seen that done many times before in your role as judicial assistant.
Yes, I have! I've seen witnesses like this pressed often. I know exactly what to do.
also
Did
been
we
doing
miss a
this,
chunk? I think we missed a chunk. Because it added it to the end, didn't it? Or did it?
It did add it after the end.
Oh, yeah, but like, did we miss
Yeah.
one?
And we did the reads thing.
Because we did that one.
Things was
Sitting on a stool when she came in, and then we did the map. Seconds later, she pulled out a knife, throwing the instrument to the floor as she stabbed her in the back. Was that the bit where we pulled out a map, or was it that bit?
I think no, those two.
We might as well do the third one as well,
Yeah,
because we definitely haven't done the fourth one.
I think we've done the third one because I got one back.
Yeah, I think that was with the pencil snapping, but we can always skip before it. Yeah, do you swear before this court? Yeah. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Sorry.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, and then they did the map thing, and I'm sorry that it's a long one. Sorry.
It's okay. This is the Ace Attorney experience.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what statement actually triggered the thing, yeah. So where exactly was he? I still don't...
So he didn't really make it clear. They just talked about what he saw.
Yeah,
He didn't mark
well.
himself on it.
Yeah, so that's the next one then.
Hold it!
The court is fully aware of your desire to capture the incident on film, I'm sure. But why then did you choose to post the photograph anonymously to the police? Oh, I'm afraid I don't understand a word that's coming out of your mouth. I'm asking why, as a journalist, you decided not to make a story out of the incident.
Think of me as a sculptor who makes art out of the sordid, private details of other people's lives. I never discuss my own personal life on principle. I mean, that's basic many-memoism.
It's not something to boast about.
No doubt your burning desire to see the truth exposed and justice done was what motivated you.
That's it! That's brilliant! My burning desire to see something or other exposed.
There has to be a good reason why he didn't think to write an article about what he saw, though.
By your own admission, you were outside the hut. How then did you manage to take that photograph?
Ah, yes, that. I'm glad you asked.
We went through that.
Yeah, we
though.
have already been through that. So, I pulled apart the rough weave of one of the screens and poked the lens through for the perfect shot. I guess.
Never was that once at photos, yeah.
No, the previous. Yeah, that one.
Hold it!
So you kind of said it twice, sort of. But the two women inside didn't notice.
Ha! Obviously not. Ha. If they had, where would I be right now? In jail, that's where.
Which you think would make you reflect on what you were doing?
No, a journo's job is to collect little snippets of life as unobtrusively as possible. Leave nothing but footprints, take nothing but photos. Yes, that's spot on.
Did you just make that up?
The point is, the witness risked life and limb to obtain this photograph.
You're getting the feeling that he admired Winston and got pissed off about the murder, stole the poison at the uni, then used his fountain pen to inject her. Now he was hired by the British Secret Service to covertly murder her to silence her. I wonder, though, or possibly he passed off his fountain pen to her. She maybe stole the poison? And he then... Or I don't know, but they're definitely... Yeah, something to do with the fountain pen.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
And this photograph reveals the whole truth. There is nothing more to be said.
I still want to know what that really distinctive stain on his hand is.
Yeah,
all
I know,
about,
right?
though. Yeah, that we have pushed.
It means we've done everything.
Oh yeah.
Hold on, so.
We did push the last one, didn't we? I was only an observer. We pushed that one straight away.
You know what? I don't remember.
The second it got added, I'm pretty sure we pushed it. Yeah.
Really, you didn't.
Didn't set foot. Are you quite sure about that? Yeah. I was scared, etc.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I think.
Yeah. Oh shit, yeah, he claims to spy the whole affair from start to finish. If true, his testimony is devastating, yeah, so we've also seen what it is.
We've seen them
Also
pressed
do.
often, but what did we miss then?
First of all, I need to see.
Yeah. So now it's basically we need to present something to him.
Yeah.
Potentially, I think.
Yeah. No, we do.
What do we have? Maybe the fountain pen, but I don't know when.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like actually maybe the fountain pen when he definitely didn't go in.
Oh. Yeah.
She has it after all, and if he didn't go inside the hut, why would she have it in
True.
her hand?
But where do we put that?
I don't.
Like,
Well, when he said he specifically didn't go inside, the
Yeah.
statement at the very end. I don't know. That's all I can think of.
I'm gonna go with it.
Chat might have better ideas,
Yeah.
but I don't know. Yeah,
Okay, what was it?
the very last one.
Oh, yeah.
Hold it!
Oopsie.
Sorry.
They're not full of ideas. Yeah, it's not. It feels quite.
Yeah, it's
There's
the-
not a whole lot of. My brain isn't buzzing with theories.
No. I'm also wondering. Oh, hold on. Yeah, I'll see. Let's see.
Yeah, what else you got?
No, I think that's the only thing I can think of at the moment too. Present.
Fountain pen is on the left side. I mean, the
There it
middle.
is.
Yeah.
I might as well present.
Objection!
We have theories. Many memo-san, until now I've had a firm belief that newspapers are in the business of uncovering and publishing the truth.
You're spot on there. That press doesn't lie, which is why I'm proud to wear the emblem of the Shoyu News on my arm. In a way, that's more many-memoism.
Sadly, though, it seems that journalists who write for those papers don't always share the same passion for the truth.
What are you suggesting with those recriminatory words, Counsel?
Many memo-san, Do you recognize this fountain pen?
It's the correct one. Haha!
Ah!
Uh-huh.
This pen was found at the scene of Miss Brett's death. In fact, the murdered victim was gripping it in her hand as she died.
What are you?
If you look at the barrel of the pen, you'll notice that its owner's initials are engraved there.
I've forgotten all about the initials as well.
Yeah, cannot believe.
M.
I guess it's... Yeah.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about the initials again.
Oh.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up, Counsel. The initials of the accused, remember me?
Is it a coincidence, I wonder? That your initials are also R.M.?
No!
Written mini memo. R.M.
That's all stung. Can't you see?
One of the central tenets of many memoism is being a pencil user.
And yet, as the court will clearly be able to see, on your right hand there is a very obvious blue ink stain.
Sorry. It would appear that you must have rather carelessly left it somewhere recently. Your favorite fountain pen, that is.
Horsey, all stung.
Mini Memo-san, is it not the case that before she died, you met with Giselle Brett in that beach hut?
Objection!
Why should we listen to this absurd nonsense? It's nothing but another excuse.
Exactly. The Shoyu News will stand behind me all the way. I deny everything. There must be as many people with the initials RM as there are stars in the night sky.
The defense has neither the time nor the inclination to count every star in the sky.
Huh?
And there's no need, anyway, because this pen has more to tell. Yes, there is another clue. A clue that undeniably proves who its owner really is.
In that case, counsel, the defense will now show the court where the alleged clue lies.
Of course, Your Excellency.
Yeah. For our victory.
The clue on this fountain pen that clearly reveals its owner's identity is...
We're gonna turn it.
There it be. That.
Some kind of... Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the...
Yeah, I'll just skip through this once it
Yep.
gets me. I can't fast forward this, isn't it great? Present.
Got it!
As well as the initials, there is also an emblem on this fountain pen. An emblem that you will, of course, recognize, Mini Memo-san.
Goodness me! It's the emblem of the Shoyu News!
In other words, the owner of this pen is an employee of the Shoyu News, whose initials are RM. Suddenly, the stars in the night sky don't seem so numerous, do they? Well, Minimo-san, how do you respond?
So guess what? I'm gonna stop it here. I think it's a good place to stop.
How could you?
Ah,
For the week.
for the week.
For the week.
So next week we'll continue with, well,
With this. Yeah.
this.
Well, how does he respond? Cliffhanger. Brr, 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 brr. Well, at least we found out what happened to the bus.
Yeah!
So far, we don't quite have. We need a mascot, a new one. It'll come to us in time.
It'll come to us. Yeah, it's not gonna be like the changing room.
No. Oh, Beach Hut San.
Beach
Who did this to you, Beach Hut San?
But yeah, thank you for joining us. as we
Yes.
uncover more of this case.
I'm thinking there's going to be some big twist though, currently. But at the
I
same time,
really-
we haven't had anybody else introduced to us yet.
No, but the last case that went completely off the rails too. Right now, it just really to me implies like accidental poisoning potentially.
Yeah, I do wonder if she accidentally stabbed herself on it. But
Who knows?
the dog knows nothing.
No. Do you have anything?
I do know.
No.
It'd be nice to have a bit of a clearer one at the start. Yeah, I agree. I think like there's probably going to be a couple of twists and turns to this one, because from what I can, from what I heard, from what you told me of the first case in the first game, it was kind of a like slightly twisty one, but it was all wrapped up mostly.
Yeah, it was completely wrapped up, that one.
Yeah, although we didn't find out why.
No, that was a thing.
So-
It's just like, oh, no motive. Bye bye.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well then,
Well then.
to you, it's yours.
Me the honours. Thanks for coming to our stream.
Mm.
Don't forget, keep the omnibus in your omnibus. Once again, a medical term. Obviously German, because, you know, German is the international medical language. If you think I'm talking rubbish, well, you just don't know enough German. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
There you go. Always follow the kobold motto. Live, laugh. Objection! Until next time, I hope you do well. Night.
Good night.